Good afternoon, everyone. What a pleasure to be commentating for the Montreal Chessbrahs here today. I am Elias Usidik. I'll be commentating with the one and only Eric Kurtz. So this is the Pro Chess League. This is a special Saturday edition. We are round number 8. There are 10 rounds in the Pro Chess League, and this is a must-win game for the Montreal Chessbrahs. We can maybe start with Eric Hansen,
let's start with board one. What do you think
board number 1.
What do you think he's going to start off with, E4 or D4? Okay, so he goes with E4.
He goes with E4, yes.
Okay, so it looks like we see just the classic E4, E5, knight F3. I wonder, will we see bishop C4, bishop B5, or maybe something completely different? Okay, bishop B5 with the Roy Lopez, and I think it's going to play out pretty normally.
Yeah, and I see Eric there is playing in a very nice, what seems to be a hotel room with his hoodie. That looks like some fun. A regular Roy Lopez. I think Eric knows his positions quite well. He's happy to get this position. A slow, grinding middle game would ensue, and I think that's good. As long as Eric plays fast, Adalik is a little older, and we're playing 10 minutes plus 2-second increment, so time will be a factor, as it always is for Eric and Amon.
So we have some strangeness going on board number 2, Elias. If we could just go there very quickly with Amon Hamilton. David Klein started out with move 1 E3, and just almost a very strange move. I'm not sure I've ever seen this actually played over the board, but and Amon of course responded with E5, and after D4, E takes D4, E takes D4, D5, bishop D3. It kind of transposed into what looks like an exchange French, and of course Amon is very well versed in these openings, but it's very strange. What do you think the purpose behind playing E3 on move 1?
Yeah, I've actually played it myself, 1 E3, and if you look at the position, it's transposed actually to an exchange French defense. It's an exchange French defense.
So it's an exchange French defense, and why would we ever want that as white? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, but looking at the position, after 8 bishop G6, if you go live into the game. I think it's an equal position. Amon should be very happy as black, getting an equal position. Very playable position, and they're equal on time, 9 minutes each. Bishop G6 played. White might play knight takes G6, 2 bishops. Knowing Amon, maybe he'll castle queenside, maybe he'll castle kingside. White will probably maybe castle queenside, and a normal ensuing position will occur. Chances for both sides. Oh, he castled kingside. White castled kingside. I'm not sure I like that move so much with the move F3. I like black here. As a French defense player, I like black here. Move your knight to D7, knight to F6 or E7, castle kingside.
Absolutely. Yeah. There seems to be some maybe we can aim for as black something to do with these weak dark squares over here, like given that F3 is played, we have the bishop on D6 targeting H2. It seems like it could be a very dynamic position in the future, perhaps.
Yes. Absolutely. Let's move on to board 3.
Board 3, Raja. So he's played something that I'm very well versed in. If we just from the beginning of the game, he played a Botvinnik English. So just move 6 G3 and just fianchetto the light squared bishop, and really the whole idea behind playing E4 and C4, if it's not self-evident, is that we really want to pile up and control the D5 square. And so he's just gained a lot of space. If we go from move 9 castles. A3, bishop C5, B4, bishop A7, bishop E3, knight D4, and the move G4, and just white has just a massive amount of space, and it looks like he could maybe even develop some attack by way of G5. What are your thoughts on this position there, Elias?
We jump to where the actual position is after 17 H6. What do you do here as white? Do you take on F6 or do you play bishop H4?
Well, he's taken on F6, and I think maybe we'll play. I would like to play like king H2 and F4, or king H1 and F4, or something like that. But I could even just play it maybe like knight G3 and knight F5 or something. But I really kind of want to open things up. I could also consider, okay, and so he goes for king H2, and with the idea of playing F4 and really, I don't know, putting some pressure on white here.
Yeah. And I think f4 is key because look at White's light squared bishop. He needs to do something about that.
Right.
It's a terrible piece. I think f4 opening up the position maybe, and as he did, he played f4, and he needs to do something about the light squared bishop on g2.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll see what he does, but I don't mind White's position. I think
White is okay.
Might be even slightly better.
We certainly are not too happy about the state of our bishop. Now the bishop after bishop d6 move 23, or sorry, bishop d4, the bishop is absolutely headed for the e5 square.
Yes.
And it looks, to pin the knight in. So that could be a bit annoying. And the fact is that our bishop on g2 is not a very strong piece. So, given that it's behind all these pawns. So, okay. But White has a lot of space and definitely a lot of control. So I'm tentatively optimistic about this position. Let's
go on to board number 4. Yeah. I think we'll need an absolutely huge score by Hudinovic, a.k.a. Shyam Thevandaran, a.k.a. The Killer, board number 4. Last Saturday, during our Super Saturday, I think he scored a big 7 out of 8. So we need another big score from him. He's an IM now. He recently got the IM title, so he's ambitious. He's playing a lot, and he's known really to beat up on lower-rated players. But he's playing a fellow IM at the moment.
Yeah, so let's go just to the start of the game. Move number 1, it was a London system with after 2 bishop f4, e6, knight f3, c5, e3, knight c6, c3, d5, knight b2, bishop d6, and bishop g3, castles, bishop b5, bishop b7, bishop d3, knight h5, and just some weird stuff is going on here.
Some very weird stuff. Very weird.
I mean, there was a bishop takes h2 and queen takes on h5. Did Shyam just hang this tactic?
Yeah. He just hung a pawn. Absolutely. He just a pawn for the. He is very bad. Yeah.
It looks like we're definitely not too happy about this position. After on move 17, we just exchanged queens, queen e8, move 15, queen takes e8, rook takes e8, bishop g3, a5, and it looks like we're just going to be suffering down a pawn here. I mean, we have the 2 bishops, we do have the light squared bishop as well, which could end up going on the a6, f1 diagonal, but we're still just down a pawn here, and it's definitely not a good way to start the match.
Yeah, the only good thing, I guess, is that Shyam is up on time, 2 bishops. I think he has chances possibly to hold. Maybe it's going to be very difficult, but with faster time controls, anything is possible.
Yeah, I think we could be happy, maybe relatively happy, given that we have the 2 bishops, but certainly not a happy thing to be down a pawn. Let's just circle back to board number 1 and see how Hansen is doing, how the Hansen game is developing. Do you remember where you left off, Elias?
Yeah, we left off after move 9, h3. Black played bishop b7, d4, rook e8, knight bb2, bishop f8, bishop c2, knight b8. And this is a popular setup that Carlsen likes to play after 12, knight b8. He just reroutes his knight to d7. We'll continue with the game. a4, knight d7, bishop d3, c6, knight f1, and the knight is going to g3 to f5. And then black played knight h5. I'm actually not too familiar with that move. Of course, the knight wants to go to f4. The idea is if white tries to play knight takes e5, black can maybe respond with knight takes c5, and after queen takes h5, knight takes d3 comes. So Eric is head bobbing at the moment, so he must like his position. But white typically likes to go knight g3 here, but he can't really do that right away because knight takes g3. What do you think of this position, Eric?
So I'm certainly trying to calculate some tactics with like knight takes c5. Could I just play very simply bishop c2? With the idea that knight takes c5 is going to be a threat in the position. I'm not entirely sure because this is certainly non-standard, and I really don't know what's going on. I don't play this myself, but if the problem is that our bishop is hanging after knight takes e5, then let's just move it. So what are some other candidate moves?
Other candidate moves are maybe just to play g3. The idea is that black's knight cannot go to f4, or playing a move like bishop g5 is also an option. Kind of question black, and I see he just played bishop g5.
Bishop g5, okay.
Yeah, so, just kind of questioning what's black going to do, because if black plays f6, he's lost that square on f6 for his knight.
Also,
so I think black can just go to c7 here maybe.
Yeah, so also if f6 is just the the diagonal. Okay, so he actually decides to exchange on e7, and Eric just immediately drops back to e3. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here.
No, and that's standard. Bishop g5, provoking bishop b7, because typically the black bishop likes to be on f8, so it can either reroute to g7 or have the open e file for on e8. So white wanted to play bishop e3, but first he played bishop g5 to provoke bishop e7 and then retreat to bishop b3.
I see, and this is
nuanced, but I like white's position here. Yeah.
Yeah, and knight h2 is actually a very nice move, it looks like, because we're headed for g4 for h6, and we provoked, as you said, we provoked this g6 move, but now we're going to get into these weak squares that black has created. So I definitely agree with you here that I like white's position. I think Hansen has some nice chances here. We have a lot of weaknesses or weak squares to target. Let's see how Aman is doing. It looks like he's down on time yet again. So we left it off.
That's very upsetting. I told him before the match, Eric. I told him, do not get in time trouble. He always has these fantastic positions. But he is always low on time. What do you think of this position here? Where did we leave off last time?
Left off, I think, knight e7, move number 9, knight e7 for black, and white played knight e2, intending to play perhaps c3 to strengthen the d4 pawn. Knight d7, knight takes on g6, pawn takes on g6, bishop f4, queen c7, queen to d2, and knight f8, intending knight e6 to maybe put the question to that bishop on f4. Bishop takes bishop, queen takes bishop, and queen f4. And it looks like we're just seeing a massive exchange after queen takes queen, knight takes queen. And then we saw the move g5, forcing the knight away, knight h3, and now knight e6, c3, king d7, and rook ae1. And it looks like, I don't know, I think I kind of like Aman's position. He has this h-file, which could be important later on. And I think this is also another very nice move from Aman, knight f4. Kind of forcing an exchange of knights, but he also gets a pawn on f4, which will be very, very restrictive, right? White would like to maybe play, like, I don't know, some move to alleviate the pressure on the h-file, but with the pawn on f4, it seems like there won't be an easy way to do that. What do you think about what's going on here?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Eric. As a French player, I'm perfectly fine with this position as black. However, I don't think this game will be decided on the board. I think it'll be decided on the clock. It'll just be whoever makes kind of the fastest moves, whoever doesn't blunder, because it looks fairly equal nonetheless. I think black now can play after knight f2, knight takes d3, knight takes d3, play f6 maybe, or maybe you have to be careful about knight c5.
Yeah, there's knight c5. I don't think we can take. Yeah. I don't think we can take that bishop.
Maybe play f6 first. We play
f6 first. Okay, no. He starts off with rook e8, and this looks like a good try. Maybe we could play. I don't know. I certainly don't mind the double G pawns, and I think we have a pretty interesting position. Okay, bishop c2. He's avoiding a trade, and probably intending maybe some knight d3 stuff, or maybe g3, knight d3, something like that. But I certainly don't dislike black's position, but I do dislike his time situation. Now down to 2 minutes.
Frustrating. All right, let's move on. Looks about equal. We'll move on maybe to Raja's game.
Sure. We ended off on move number f4, knight takes f4, move number 22, h takes g4, h takes g4, bishop d4, king to g3, king to g7, king f3, getting out of the way of any bishop e5 stuff, a5, b5, a4, and moving the rook to the b file, 27, rook b1, bishop c5, targeting the weakness on a3, pawn takes on c6, pawn takes on c6, and then rook to b7.
Looks good, right? The rook on the 7. Okay.
I'm getting a tad concerned after move like rook a1. Our rook is relegated to defending this weak a3 pawn that we just don't have a good way to defend. So that's a bit concerning. Rook to a7, rook takes a7, bishop takes a7, rook b1, bishop c5, and then rook back to b7 b7, king to h6, and this is the current position. I'm not sure. What do you think? I guess on bishop a3, there's rook a7, and we don't have to worry about the passed a pawn anymore. But we really are suffering with this bishop on g2. It's doing like completely just nothing. So
yeah. So one thing I always learned is you're looking at the position here as white, and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? And one thing you have to realize is if I don't know what to do in a position, I try to improve my worst placed piece. So in this position, I play bishop f1, bishop e2, bishop d1 maybe, and try to win the pawn on a4. Maybe that's what I try to do, because I don't see an active plan for black here. Maybe he wants to bring his king to g5, right, but doesn't do much. Maybe I play bishop f1 here, and I reroute that bishop, making it into a better piece. Raja's getting low on time. It's anybody's game here.
Right, I definitely agree. Now, let's go on to board number 4, our trouble game here, and see how this game progressed after.
Ooh!
Yeah, we left it on move 21, knight d2, rook d8, f3, king to f7, bishop f2, rook to b7, e4, breaking apart the center, takes on d4, bishop takes d4, e5, bishop f2, d4, pawn takes, knight to b3, rook to d7, rook to c1, bishop to d7, bishop to e2, rook to c6, and now this move d7, knight d2, and we have the passed pawn after bishop d4.
Are you looking at the position after 33, rook a c1, king e6?
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, we have all the counterplay in the world. It feels like, or at least we can easily transition to some kind of endgame that's just an opposite colored bishop endgame, and we'll maybe have some good chances to draw that. But also, if we don't have to do that, we can maybe just argue that, hey, we're going to try to push this pawn all the way. It does look like white.
So I think things are looking okay, maybe. I still much prefer white because I think rook takes c6, and maybe play rook d6. And if we exchange rooks, it'll probably be a draw because I can play bishop takes d2. So I think Shia might be able to hold this. After blundering a pawn early in the not even early in the middle game. In the opening, he blundered a pawn pretty much.
Well, and also
so Shiem,
Shiem has what about if we see an exchange of rooks even? There's even something like bishop d1, and threatening some kind of, we might just collect the a pawn, and if you play a move like b3, we just take the knight and then take on b3, and we'll get 2 passed pawns on the queen side, and that could be just decisive even in an opposite colored bishop endgame. So I definitely I feel like white could definitely mess this up. He's certainly up a pawn, and he's certainly better, but it's I would definitely mess this up in a blitz game or something as white.
Yeah. So let's maybe jump to Amon's game real quickly. Let's skip Eric's game for a second, just because I see Amon is very low on time.
He's 11 seconds.
I'm wondering, is he low on time because he's winning, or is he low on time because he made a blunder and now he had to think a lot?
So we're gonna, because Amon is a bit low on time, let's go back very, very quickly. And so after we did see eventually, after.
Or maybe let's just jump to the position, Eric, because
that sounds like a good idea. That's true. So we currently see on the board this move c4. Rook h8 has been played, targeting the h2 pawn, and once again, Amon has like a really interesting endgame position where it looks like he has a lot of space and he has a lot better pieces, but he's just so low on time.
So maybe king f2, maybe rook h8, maybe they repeat rook h8. Amon, come on, play faster, play automatic moves. Come on, Amon. He plays king c7, so he's playing for a win with 6 seconds left. I don't think he's justified to be playing with a win with 6 seconds left. His position isn't necessarily that much better. And this might backfire. I would have much preferred him play rook h8, king e3, rook e8 check. I don't like that decision, Amon. I don't like that decision at all.
Okay, he plays the move f5. f5, forcing the bishop back. Let's play the move, we see knight d3. Okay, we're just going to simply win a pawn here, it looks like.
Knight c4 check, knight takes a5.
Knight takes a5. Okay, but can we push the c pawn? Is that possible here?
Ooh, could white knight on a5 be a problem piece?
It certainly looks like it is. I mean, in fact, I'm not sure how. Oh wow, that's a very good resource.
I think it might have been his only move to not lose the piece.
But we do have this passed pawn, and now you have to babysit a7, and our king position is just so much better.
Rook c8 here. Rook c8. Play rook c8. Where do rooks belong? Behind passed pawns.
Oh, he just pushes the pawn.
I didn't like that move. I think rook c8 was a little better.
Okay, rook c8 now.
I don't like that. Ahmad, rooks belong behind past pawns.
The king would jump in with king e2, I think, right? And perhaps are we in time? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, so, king d4. Okay. Ahmad's position looks. Yes.
So he's going to maybe go to d3 to c2 to b3, perhaps, or.
This looks
at least past pawn.
Yeah. He should be winning here because the king is cut off. Now I understand why he didn't want to play rook c8. He'll just bring his king in.
Right.
So this should be winning. This is winning. This is winning.
So
I think this
White
is
winning. Making a pass pawn of his own.
F4. I don't understand that move.
He's stopping the king from getting in. There's no king g3 anymore or anything.
But we had c2 there. I think c2 looked like really strong. But I understand what you mean. Okay. Check. What is this?
We want to gain some time. He wants to gain some time. Now c2. Now c2. The king is
he's winning. He's winning.
Yes, absolutely. He's absolutely winning. The king
is completely cut off. Absolutely winning. Excellent.
Okay, let's not celebrate yet. We have 6 seconds left, Elias. 6 seconds left, and David Klein has 3 minutes. So this is a very intense situation, for sure. I mean, this is. But what else do you do aside from rook c2 check and try to just give all the checks in the world? Okay, he plays a4, rook to c8, finally. And how do you stop? You can't stop him from queening, actually. And in fact, a4 was just a massive, massive blunder. You had to give the check on c7.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. We just queen, and we're just up a full queen. And and it guards f4. So queen. Yep. Okay, and so I don't like that move because we give up the pawn check, but we're just up a full queen. So queen f. Okay, queen takes.
Yeah, let's move on. Amon is winning this game. Let's move on to Eric Hansen maybe.
Eric Hansen, yeah. Eric Hansen also down on time. Oh my goodness! Looks like he's just completely won with the pass.
Completely winning guy. Yeah. Yes.
He had the pass pawn on a6, and he just. In fact, he wins by resignation. Let's go to Amon's game again because again he has 10 seconds. Okay, he's just checkmate on the board. Let's check in with
excellent
with board 3. The game that we were worried about, and I am having a hard time parsing what's even going on here. What? So it looks like somebody's. White is up some amount of material, or black is up like just a large amount of material, a full piece it looks like, but there's this pass pawn on d7 that...
So if white is bishop c2, maybe he's starting to take on a2, it's not clear to me. It's not clear to me so much. It's not clear. Because on rook takes a2, bishop takes e4 maybe is a move.
Yeah, bishop takes e4 is possible. And in fact, okay, so maybe, this is very difficult. Can we play, if we play like rook a7, there's bishop e5 check, just any queens. In fact, bishop e5 is just a massive, massive threat after this move rook h8. So I think we need to take on a2, but after we take on a2, there's just immediately rook to d7 and
rook
black
d8, d7.
Sorry, yeah.
It looks like I think black should be winning this.
Absolutely.
He'll be up a piece.
If we play bishop a4 here, there's just bishop takes e4. Okay, we have this passed pawn, but the fact really remains that, a lot of our compensation in this position was based on the fact that his bishop on g6 was mostly out of the game, and that's just simply not the case after this move, king takes on g4.
Okay, so it looks like Raja's going to be losing this game. Let's see if Hudinovic was able to muster anything on board 4.
And it looks like he's also going to be down. He's losing another pawn, and he has this opposite colored bishop endgame, but white has these 2 passed pawns in the center. We're just down 3 pawns for nothing. So he just resigned. So we've just lost. So we won on our top 2 boards. We lost on our bottom board, and board 3 is still pending. But I think we can predict a loss pretty clearly here for white. Quite unfortunately, but
after I didn't see anything unfortunately.
So it looks like we're going to be going 2 for 2. 2 against 2 here. And
2 losses, not the ideal score. I was hoping for a much.
Absolutely not.
Because we need a big score. The other teams.
Okay, this is cute. Does this actually work? No, it doesn't.
B6.
Yeah, this is just okay, and it's 2-2 against Amsterdam, a draw. Definitely not the way we want to start off. but board 1 and 2 came in with some very clutch, nice games there, and we just need our bottom 2 boards to step it up here. The games have started, and Bador Jababa has just opened up against Eric Hansen with 1b3. Nimzovich Larson attack, and Eric responds e5, just taking over, or challenging the the long diagonal control, or maybe trying to blunt this bishop. And now the move h3. So b3.
That's very strange. I've never seen that one before.
Knight c6, e3, knight f6, h3. I'm completely confused by this. I don't know what's going on. It really seems like. Are we going to see like maybe a hippo or something, like g3 bishop g2?
Probably wants to maybe play g4, some g4 idea, but I find it funny Eric responded with a6. Couple probably wanting to prevent bishop b5, and then the e pawn becomes a little weak.
Right.
But
right.
These are subtleties. These are subtleties. I guess. Yeah.
So can we see just like d6 here? Is d6 almost necessary, or am I?
Actually, a move here sometimes bishop d6.
Yeah,
I personally like bishop d6. The idea is that you castle, play rook e8, and then you retreat the bishop to f8, and then you can maybe play
d5.
Play d5.
Yes.
He might play bishop d6. So I know Eric sometimes plays bishop d6 instead of playing d6 right away, just so his bishop isn't blocked. We'll see what he does.
So bishop d6 is
definitely
a potential here.
Yeah.
Also e4. I'm not sure I would play e4. I don't know this theory, and I'm sure Eric doesn't as well, but I wouldn't want to play e4 just because the entire point, I feel like, is to just blunt the bishop. He spent all his time playing b3, bishop b2. Let's make that bishop look bad. But okay, I mean e4 absolutely is is something. Okay, let's check out board number 2 and see how Aman is doing. He's playing looks like he played a London system. d4, knight f6, bishop f4, c5. And e3, c takes d4, d5, c3, knight c6, bishop d3, g6, knight f3, bishop g7, castles, and it looks like Aman has just the classic sort of London position. I'm not so familiar with these positions. What do you think about this position? How do you think Aman's chances are here?
Yeah, Aman has been playing the London system now for ages now. So I think he's in familiar territory. But I'm saying he's in familiar territory, but he is low on time. So I don't know how true my statement really is. But this is very thematic. I've seen Aman sometimes play knight a3 here. I've seen him play knight bd2. I've seen him play rook e1. I've seen him play h3. I guess he's just trying to gather his thoughts and kind of decide what he wants to play at the moment. But things are going to be very slow moving this game. It's going to be a maneuvering game.
Okay, queen c2, unexpected.
Queen c2. I've never seen him play this move before.
I'm starting to get concerned about knight b4 if some piece ends up on the c file now. So let's just say bishop to g4, knight bd2, like rook c8. Does that almost force us to play the move a3 to stop any knight b4 stuff? I don't know. Queen c2 feels a bit misplaced, and I'm not so sure.
I think knight bd2.
Okay, knight e5. Okay, knight e5. Okay, but now e5 is hanging. So I think we're forced to take on c6.
Yeah, d4 is hanging, you mean? But
sorry, not e5. d4 is hanging, exactly. And we're almost forced to take on c6 because we can't. How do we deal with both threats of knight b4? Oh, he takes there. Are we going to see queen e2? Queen e2 here?
I think Aman has played this very well because he has the two bishops now, queen e2. The knight will probably retreat to f6, or knowing Pensulai, he might play a very aggressive h5 here, knowing the way he plays. But I think I like white. Black will probably play
this looks really good,
d5,
actually.
Go for the minority attack.
Well, can we just play very simply? Let's just stop any e5 nonsense. Knight bd2 and then knight f3.
I'm actually very happy if Black plays e5 because if Black plays e5, I'm taking, and then I'm playing against the weak pawn on d5. I think thematic in these positions is for Black to play b5, b4, minority attack, or try to play a b5, knight a5, knight c4.
So can I play instead maybe I can play knight f3, but also just a3. Okay, so I really just want to put something on e5 here. I just want to play on a knight or a bishop, or really just get something in. And if there's ever any b5, I won't allow a b4. I'll play a3, and you can never play a5 to support b4 because then the pawn on b5 will be hanging from my bishop and queen on c2, or sorry, e2 and d3. So okay, we see knight f3. I wonder if we're actually headed for this e5 square, and maybe we'll see rook c1, rook a c1, or something like this. I think Amon has a very pleasant position. Let's see if we can move on to board number 3, Blomqvist against Raja Panjwani, and see how this game developed. Do you want to take us through this game?
Yeah, let's start. Let's just start with move 1, knight f3, knight f6. We'll just move through the game, spending about 1 second per move. I won't commentate too much on the opening phase of the game. We'll just keep on going calmly.
So we see on move number 16, after f4, Raja played this move h4, which I quite like. We're kind of of a pawn sack, but not really, because I think we would get the pawn back if we were ever taken. We're intending to maybe if it was taken, like knight h5 or something would be a very interesting try. And then we saw just a piece sack on move 17, g4, bishop takes g4, knight takes g4, and I've actually played maybe a similar position from the Pirc, and it seems like, okay, so we get 2 pieces for the rook, and what do you think about this whole plan of Panjwani's of sacking?
I don't necessarily like it that much. I like the 2 pieces personally. I don't see where his rooks are infiltrating on the b file so much.
Well,
so
I think he's opening up the b file.
But his rooks can't go to b2, can't go to b3, can't go to b1.
Yeah.
But I think it's double-edged. It's anybody's game. It's very sharp. But I think personally, I prefer white. I've been hearing there's been action going on in Eric's game. Can we jump to that game?
Absolutely. We'll go to. Holy, what is going on? This is terrifying. Okay, so we left off after the move. Instead of bishop d6, like we were suggesting, we saw 5d6, d4, queen to e7, knight to c3, bishop f5, g4, lashing out, takes on d4, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, bishop to e6, c6 was played, bishop to g2, and castles queenside.
Ooh, spicy, which makes sense. You know, you can't really castle kingside.
Right, okay,
so you castle queenside.
Queen a7, and now this scary move, knight to a4, knight d7, now f4. This looks terrifying. I'm completely terrified here, Elias. I'm scared out of my mind because it looks really tough. F5 is coming. We're kind of just playing defense here as black. F6 was played. E4, bishop to E7, bishop to D6, not bishop to D6. Sorry, bishop to A3, rook HE8, and king B1. Just such an annoying move to have to face. Like king B1, he doesn't even do anything. Can we not get away with? The issue is that
dare I say Eric's pieces kind of look like
we're almost lost. I feel like we're almost lost. We're completely boxed in. Queen b8. Why can't you just exchange queens and then take on d6 and just be up?
You play knight takes b8 as black. Queen takes b8. Knight takes b8.
Okay. I see.
But I think queen b8 is a good move. I think it was necessary. But what do you do? I think if the queen retreats, do you play a move like b5 after? If queen goes back to e3 or f2, you play b5 and then you play b4 after. Is that what his idea is? Does that mean white
perhaps
on b8?
I don't think so. I would not be scared of b5. I mean,
but you might be b5 b4. You might be winning a piece. Queen goes back.
Okay, so you're right. He has to take on b8 and
I think
maybe
so.
Exactly. This is. I was just about to mention this. He's going to play bishop to a5 now, and he's really going to just these dark squares. In fact, how do we deal with this? Because we can't play rook d7. There's knight b4 check. We can't play king.
Knight b6,
yeah. Knight b6. We can't play king anything. If we play, so we play b4. Okay. So maybe this is reasonable. What Eric? Sorry, not b4, b5. This looks very reasonable for him. I did not see this b5 idea. And okay, what do you think about this position? Maybe Eric it looked scary for a while, but perhaps it was just me being, a weak player.
I definitely prefer White's position. That's without a doubt. He has more space. Black's pieces are restricted, but this is a blitz game. I'm surprised that Eric hasn't gotten in a big amount of trouble, hasn't lost a piece or the exchange so far, or even a pawn. So it's still encouraging, but I think he's on the worst side of it for sure. Knight may be coming to d4, but first moving the bishop to prevent a c5 type move. White's rook's going to come to e1, maybe h4, h5, maybe f5, knight f4. Pawn on d6 is weak. So things are very difficult for Eric. He doesn't have a clear plan. What's his plan?
I'm really not happy. Yeah, I'm really, really not happy here. Just because, like, the massive amount of space that White has almost complete control over the center. The knight is headed for this e5, for this d4 square. He just has these two bishops that are slicing our position apart. It really looks like we've just been outplayed out of the opening, out of a very strange opening, I might add. But
very strange, yeah, very, very odd. We'll let Eric ponder over his next move.
And he plays.
We'll jump to Hudinovic.
Well, hold on. Let's stay here.
Okay.
He played d5. I think he wants to exchange pieces, and he's low on space, so he just wants to let's just exchange and get out of there. But are we not going to be saddled with a very weak pawn?
Very risky. Take on e7 and just take on d5. You have a weak pawn on d5.
Yeah, like
you'll have the knight that'll jump to d4.
Yeah, knight
he's on the worst side of it.
Or something. This looks pretty nasty looking. I don't know. Okay,
he has some tricks though up his sleeve. Idea is if e takes d5, bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5. Instead of taking back on d5, Eric might play the move rook takes e2.
Which is why it looks like Jabava has just played the move knight to g4, and this also looks like a scary move. He's headed for f5, or he's playing f5 or h5. I'm really quite unsure here. It does not look like a happy position.
So now White can take on d5.
Yeah.
And then Eric will be coupled with that weak pawn on d5 and the weak square on d4. But he has the open e file. Maybe he can play knight c6. Maybe his pieces will get active. But positionally speaking, Black has the worst pawn structure, but maybe his piece activity will compensate for that.
And White just threatens to win a pawn now with rook takes on e7. So we have to address this somehow. Maybe knight c. But I mean, I'm really quite unsure because knight f4, knight f5 is coming. I think.
Yeah, I mean, just play knight c6. Maybe rook takes e7, knight takes e7.
But now we've given up the file, and there's that move. White is much better.
Knight h5, ooh, nasty, attacking pawn on g7.
Shout out to Mayo Vernovic, the regular commentator. He's in the chat. Says he's on vacation, and clearly, otherwise he'd be commentating. But thanks for being here, man. Let's check out move. Sorry, which game did you want to go to?
We haven't had a chance to check out Hudinovic. I'd like to see Hudinovic.
Okay, so let's start out. Do you want to? I'll take us through this game and show how it developed. We just saw a regular e4 e5 opening, and after 4 bishop b5, bishop d6. This move that Elias is just mentioning, that we like the castle play rook e8 and then play bishop back to f8. We saw the move a6 b5, pushing the bishop back, bishop to d6, a4, rook b8 takes on b5, knight to d5, h3, h6, c3, d6, h3, stopping any bishop g4 or knight g4 stuff. Knight takes knight, bishop takes knight, knight back to e7, d4, e takes d4, knight takes d4, castles, bishop d7, bishop back to b3, and knight g6, queen to h5, threatening to take the knight on g6, queen to f3, bishop to not f3, f6, bishop to e3, and knight to e5, rook to d1, knight to c4, bishop back to c1. Just a slow, a very interesting game going on. And now
I like this for White personally. He has a bishop on c1, bishop on b3. He might play maybe rook e1. It's a very slow-moving game.
Rook e1 seems very dangerous, given that Black has all this pressure on f2, right? I mean, it seems like, granted,
true,
there's
but
the knight.
I have a sneaky plan here. My idea with rook e1 is maybe to try to maybe get my rook to e3 to g3. I don't think it works right away, or maybe I try to play rook d3. Is rook d3 a good move here? Maybe trying to play rook f3. Maybe trying to play rook g3.
Rook d3 is worth considering. We're giving up a pawn there, and we got to be aware of that fact. But I don't know. I'm definitely a bit spooked. I'm not too happy about this. Okay, and he plays rook e1. I'm a bit scared that we're giving up this. We're giving up. Okay, and looks like black is just getting some very dynamic play after rook to e5, and now she's just going to double on the e file. Looks like maybe. Oh, yeah, he's going to double on the e file, rook e8, and there's so much pressure on this f2 pawn. We're almost forced to play. Geez, I don't know. d5 is coming. What do we do here, Elias?
Yeah, maybe you just play. Maybe you play. It's hard to say.
Let's let Cheyenne figure that out for us.
Maybe you play. Yeah.
D5
is coming. I agree. That's the annoying
Eric
move.
Hansen is down to under a minute against Bader Jabava, and we're just going to go through this game. We're not going to go through this game. I mean,
let's just stay from where it is, where it is at the moment.
And it looks like he's not down any material, but it's just a complicated looking endgame. And he has won a pawn for the moment, but he's certainly not going to be able to hang on to it after this move a4. It looks like. So, but maybe we need to get something going with this h pawn, Elias. What do you think?
The problem is that the b pawn, white's b pawn will be the pass pawn, and white's b pawn is much more far up the board than black's h pawn. So a6 is going to drop now, I think.
a6 drops.
And
he plays
then
h5.
Black needs to push his pawn. h5, h4, h3, h2. White's going to do the same thing. b5,
what do we
b4.
do about this threat? Rook a7, knight c6. Rook a7, knight c6. Is that not a massive threat here, or what's going on?
Rook a7, maybe you just move the king somewhere. I don't know.
This
maybe
looks very poor. This looks just very poor for us. I'm not.
Rook a7, king e8. But black always has rook b1 check in the cards.
Well, what about the king b2? Just stops that in its tracks. I'm not sure that we can rely on that move.
King b2, rook h2 check maybe, and then go back to h1 if the king goes back to b3. Okay. H3, let's go.
H3, king c5, or even
H2?
Actually, if H3 just
double edge. What? But Eric is low on time. This doesn't.
He has to play H3.
Yeah.
This is very
I think
spooky.
Objectively, this might be okay for Eric.
I don't know. I think he's like, if there's no rook b1 anymore, we have to point this out because there's knight b3. So
yeah, that's true.
Okay, not anymore. So this is certainly very double-edged. What do we do on king d6? King d6. Oh, there's knight c8. Don't be an idiot, Eric. Okay, maybe we just see a repetition here after rook a8.
No, Jobava with 5 minutes against Eric with 20 seconds. There's no way Jobava's going for a repetition here. And that's what I like about it, because even though Jobava might not necessarily have the better position, he won't go for the draw, which is good for Eric.
Right. Okay. So, there's never any king d6.
But this is very good for Eric. No, he's just going to play h2, h1, and he's going to play rook takes c3.
I really think that white has gone wrong somewhere. So, okay.
E6 played. Rook takes c3 check.
Rook takes c3 check. Now the trouble is that if white queens, it comes with a check, and although we can queen like a move half a tempo ahead, it doesn't.
Rook c1. Go back to c1 so you can play rook b1 check. Now and then play h2 next move if you can.
So
what happens on b2 here, or b7? Sorry.
b7. We obviously have to give the check.
We give the check and then we play h2.
This is very complicated. I'm going to.
So on knight b3, you play maybe rook c8, so you can play rook b8 maybe. Actually, it's very complicated. I'm not even sure if that works. Knight b3 might be a good move here. Knight b3, rook b1, king b4. Anyways, this is very complicated. There's a lot of different candidate moves to consider, and Eric's very low on time.
This is speaking of complicated. Amon is in a really rough position. Well, I'm not sure if it's rough or not. This is it's just massively complicated. I have almost no idea what's going on here.
Are we jumping to Amon's game?
Yeah, if you don't mind, we can jump to Amon's game while Bador thinks a bit, and we can just circle back. But it looks like after King H1, we're threatening to take on H5, but there's just it's vastly complicated. I mean, we're up in exchange here as
We're
White.
up in exchange. If White can maybe just play Rook G4, just play Rook G4. If I can just play Rook G4, he can just maybe simplify the position a little bit, but maybe Bishop takes G7. No, he can't play Bishop takes G7 because Rook H4 check.
Right, Rook H4 check, and I'm not sure what's going on.
I wanted to play.
Hold on. Is there something wacky?
G7,
is there something wacky here? Do we have, let's say, Bishop G5? If Bishop takes on E5, do we have Queen takes on H4? With the idea of Bishop D8 discovered check.
Ooh.
Or H5, not H4.
Now
H5.
we're playing some chess.
So if he ends up taking on E5, we could play Queen takes H5. Maybe it's complicated and really. Okay, so he doesn't even bother.
It's not complicated at all. It's just it's a very good move.
Well, there's Queen takes F2 there. So it's.
I liked it. It was a very good move, I think.
Okay. So we're going to exchange rooks, and once we do that, I feel that we could even. I don't know.
It's double-edged. It's double-edged.
Let's go back to
White's pawn structure isn't the best.
Right.
He has 5 isolated pawns. He's up the exchange. Is it enough compensation for Black?
Let's go back to Hansen's games because they've actually
he
just lost. Okay, so we can Hansen just lost, and we certainly missed it. He ended up losing the pawn.
Just jump to move 55 for Eric? I'm just curious to see what happens.
Let's focus on the games that are currently happening right now, because Amon has 3 seconds left, and we should stick here.
Let's go to Amon's game.
He's playing. He's holding on. Maybe we're playing F4 in the future. Okay, something is. Yikes! I don't know what to say about this position. I'm very scared.
Amon just needs to open up a file for his rook somehow. Open up a file for his rook.
He has 3 seconds, Elias. He has 3 seconds.
Yeah, practically speaking, I might rather be Black here.
Yeah, I would absolutely rather be Black. His pawn structure is just superior. Like our rook is just doing nothing, and I'm not.
Exactly.
We can't play ever like F4, even though I'd like to, in order to solidify the E5 pawn, because there's knight G3 check. We can't trade off. Okay, so the knight is headed for F5. Maybe
knight F5, very logical.
Okay, so we're trying to.
Who can trade queens?
Queen H3 check. Queen H3 check and H1 and. Okay.
But if you can trade queens, Queen takes C3 maybe.
There's
Queen takes C3, Rook E3, Rook F3, but the knight gets to F5.
We're just dropping pawns. This is the problem. We're so down on time.
Queen A1 check. Queen takes A2.
Yeah, we're just dropping all the pawns here.
And then knight F5.
Okay, and we have results in all other boards. Hudinovic has won against Ina Agrest, and Raja Panjwani has drawn Eric Blomqvist. Okay, so our rook is finally getting active, but we're down so many pawns. Does it even matter? I guess the rook is headed for C7. C7 for F7.
This is good. And Pansulai is getting low on time. The
knight is headed for F5. Okay, knight F5.
Knight F5, maybe Rook C8?
Okay, H5 straight off the bat. We have to be very careful. What about some, if our queen strays too far, there's some counterplay. Bishop to, surely there's something here.
Bishop F6, threatening Rook C8 check, maybe? Threatening Rook C8 check, and...
What is going on here? This is bizarre. Can we take on G6? Okay, are we just going to see a draw here?
Amon's winning this game for sure.
Certainly, okay. He's like, White is down to 4th.
H6 maybe. Okay, take. Queen F4. I don't understand that move.
He's stopping. Well. He's protecting E5. Okay, we see a check and an exchange.
Oh, no, he exchanged queens.
Okay, we're taking on A6.
Take on A6, okay. Take on E5.
We're definitely lost.
But we had something there. We had something there, but that's okay.
We're absolutely lost, and there's knight D6. Knight
Rook
D6.
E7 check, Rook takes E6.
Ooh, what is going on here? This is he just down?
Bishop F6, maybe?
Okay, we're threatening to play Bishop C5 check. Bishop C5 check.
Bishop c5 check. Let's go. Oh, he missed bishop c5 check, winning the pawn.
Wait, what is going on? Why?
That's okay. He won the pawn on b2. Bishop c5 check. Bishop a3. Bishop c5. Bishop a3.
Bishop a3, and there's nothing.
Yeah, queen f4 wasn't very good. I agree. Myo Drag.
Okay, so
bishop
we're taking, and now we're just.
We're winning. We should. Okay, bishop c7. We should be winning here. We should be winning.
How do you protect this pawn?
Knight d6. Bishop e5.
We're just winning. We're just completely winning here.
Yes, come on, guys. Come on, Mo. Let's go. No rook blunders. No rook blunders.
No rook blunders. Move the rook. No forks.
No forks.
F4.
This is very good because if Amon wins this game, we'll have won this mini match against the
king to f3
first place team in the
Central Division. We're playing like rook c4, rook c5 check, or rook
b4. I like rook b4, rook b5.
Yes.
Same idea.
Now we're playing play like king e4 or something like that. Yes, exactly. We are absolutely winning this game.
This should be routine.
Or
f5.
If we got to be very careful because we don't want there to be some if white can trade off like a bishop for the bishop and the pawn or something, and it's just a draw. But so we need to be very, very careful to not drop this pawn. But wow, just Amon turning it around in massive time pressure. Just amazing. In fact, can we even? Okay, there's no need to. Just a very nice technique.
And there we have it.
Yeah, this should be the end of the game.
That should be the end of it. Oh, fantastic! He was in trouble. I think.
He's up a rook against a knight. Rook and a piece against the knight, and he just wins by resignation. What a great game from Amon. Very, very happy. We win this mini match with 2.5 to 4, or out of 4, 2.5 to 1.5. Oh, and it's a big
games have already
starting right now, and we're playing the London Lions. It looks like Eric Hansen is playing against I am Yang Fan Zhu or Zhao. Amon is playing Justin Tan, an Australian. Raja Panjwani is playing Ravi Haria, and Hudinovic is playing Lawrence Cooper. So let's stick with Eric Hansen, and it looks like it's a Sicilian defense with, instead of taking on d4 on move 3, black has played knight f6, and I'm not extremely familiar with what's going on here.
And Eric, I'd just like to add that the London Lions, the team they're playing, they aren't doing too well in the Pro Chess League. They're actually going to probably get relegated next year.
You think so?
Season today, they'd be relegated. So they're fighting for their life as well. So even though they're not doing too well, sometimes, if you're fighting for your life, you can perform much better than if you're already in the playoffs.
No, this is not the Justin Tan that won the Crazy House event yesterday or the other day. This is a different Justin Tan. But okay, we see just a Sicilian defense that I'm completely unfamiliar with, and Eric Castle's queenside. It looks like we're putting some pressure on d6. Are you familiar with these positions in any way?
I know these positions. Personally, I don't like to play queen takes d4 that much, but I understand Eric probably wants to get out of theory against his younger opponent from the UK, from London. Who knows these positions quite well, but this kind of resembles a Richter Roser, if I'm pronouncing correctly. But usually the pawn is on f4, so it looks a little bit different. It's much nicer when the pawn is on f4. So I'm curious to see what Eric will do here. Does he play bishop f4, forcing a move like e5, or does he play maybe bishop h4 here? I think it's a very equal game. Not equal, but a very normal Sicilian game.
I would consider bishop h4 and okay, so he plays bishop to e3. Are we not allowing? Does this not allow knight g4? Is knight g4 desirable?
Knight g4, bishop f4, knight ge5 maybe is knight e5.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. It seems very dangerous because we could just take on e5. The d6 pawn is pinned. Is it not, or am I?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
so this looks maybe okay.
So maybe, this is almost
Eric tricked his opponent.
Is e5 necessary here? And e5, and now white will gain the d5 square here. Yeah, I think we can be very happy. Maybe bishop g3, okay, the bishop is a bit off sides here, but we've gained d5. Well, it looks like Hansen is not too happy.
No, this looks okay.
Looks very fine.
There's no problems. There's no problems. I like what he did here. He kind of tricked his opponent. Very strange. I like it. Let's move on to the next game. Maybe let's check out Amon's game
against Justin Tian. Yeah, so it's a French tirage variation. After e4, e6, d4, d5, knight d2, c5, just putting massive amounts of pressure on the center. Knight gf3. Takes on c4. Can you take over this game? I've been logged out.
Absolutely. So we'll just go through e4, e6, d4, d5, knight d2, c5. So this is the tirage variation of the French defense. Something that Amon likes to play. The other popular move here is knight f6. If we continue with the game, knight gf3, c takes d4. Let's just go through the game move by move. We'll go to after white played c4. So the idea after 9 c4 is to break up black's center. It's a very thematic move. Black continues with knight f6, e takes d5, c takes d5, castle, bishop e7. So personally, I actually really like black's position here. I don't think he has any problems. He's getting ready to castle. He can place his rooks either on the b or c file and enjoy a very normal looking position. I like black's position very much.
Yeah, I quite like it myself.
Is slightly lower on time, but things look great for him here.
I quite like this position myself. It looks like we could get some, I hesitate to say it, but some Benko style compensation in putting our rooks on c8 and b8 maybe, and just really use the fact that we've opened up this the queen side, and so I would just play like queen b6 for example. Okay, a5 exactly.
This is very good. A5, a4. Put the queen somewhere. Bring the rook to one of the open files.
Yep, absolutely. I am I'm very happy with this position for white. Let's go to Raja Panjwani's game against FM Ravi Haria. And
I'll just add in, Eric. I'll just add in that after 2 rounds, the Montreal Chessbrahs are on 4.5 out of 8, and that's good enough for 6th place at the moment. And like I said, there are 16 teams, and the top 6 get a win. And let us remind you that this is a must-win for the Montreal Chessbrahs to make the playoffs. They have 4.5, and they're in 6th place. And in 7th place is Riga, who has 4.5. So we're still in the winner's table right now. So go ahead with Raja Panjwani's game.
Right, and Raja has played a King's Indian attack. We started off with knight f3, knight f6, g3, e6, bishop g2, d5, castles, bishop e7, knight to d3, c5, knight b to d2, knight c6, e4, b6, rook e1, bishop e7, a4, queen c7, e takes d5, e takes d5, knight f1. Now this is like a really interesting move to me on 11 knight f1 because we're either headed for e3 or white will be playing maybe h3 or h4 followed by knight h2 and trying to get the knight to g4. It's this attack is very interesting and is often difficult to face.
I actually played this. I played this against Raja, I think, back in 2012. I was on the black side. And he outplayed me on the white side of this, and I was playing black. Anyways, go ahead.
That's very nice to hear, actually, that Raja has a great experience in these lines. After castles, we saw knight e3, headed for knight f5, g6, knight h4, maybe putting the knight on g4. I'm not quite sure. What is the idea behind this move, knight h4? Are we really going to sack a piece with knight f5, or maybe we're
very strange to me, to be honest. But I think his idea is maybe to play knight g4. But honestly, black just played g6, preventing a knight going to f5, and we're playing knight h4 as if we want to go to f5, or maybe he wants f4, f5. Nevertheless,
like f4, f5.
I'm not sure I like knight h4 that much.
13, rook a8, a5, rook fe8, a takes b6, a takes b6, bishop d2, bishop to f8, f4, and maybe the reason behind this move, knight h4, becomes obvious. He wanted to play f4 and not have the knight behind the pawn. So c4 was played, d4, knight e4, NL c3, knight a5, bishop c1, knight b3, and rook a2, rook a8, and it looks like, I feel like we're getting outplayed here as white. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on this position? Because it just, black has the A file.
I agree. Usually in these kinds of king and Indian attack type positions, white is trying to break through on the king side, black is trying to break through on the queen side, and it looks with the open A file, black has succeeded in kind of maybe breaking through. B5, B4 might be coming.
Okay, so we saw the move B5, F5.
Very good.
I'm just confused because I feel like we have our rook on E1 and it really belongs in F1, right? Because Okay, so he takes on c1.
We need to break through. We need to break through somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe the rooks will be going to f1 soon. The knight is going to go to e3. I think it's okay position. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
b4 is coming. I'm not sure what to do about that.
Yeah. It's f takes g6, rook f1. Maybe try to spur something up on the king's side, but I prefer maybe. It's hard to say who I prefer, but I think it's anybody's game.
I prefer black. I absolutely prefer black. Black has the 2 bishops. He has more space. He has this nice knight on e4. Our knight on h5 or h4 is completely out of the game, it feels like. I absolutely prefer black. Well, let's go and look at board 4 and see how this game has progressed. You want to take us through this game, Elias?
Yeah. So we'll start on move 1. We'll just slightly go through. It was a Caro-Kann. Okay, a Caro-Kann with exchange, queen a4 check. This is all well-known theory. Black decided to fianchetto his bishop, very well known. We're playing against the isolated pawn on d5. Xiam on 10, move 10 plays b6, targeting the pawn on d5, very thematic. b5, bishop e3, rook e8, bishop g5. So I actually play this as white sometimes, and what I try to do sometimes is just try to hold on to the pawn on d5. Because the idea is if I can try to hold on to the pawn on d5, I'm restricting black's pieces. So, c6 is controlled, e6 is controlled. I have a tough time breaking through. So it doesn't look like Xiam has a clear way to win the pawn on d5 unless knight d6 does anything.
Is that possible? Could he just take on f6 there, or is that just completely off base?
Yeah, if he takes on f6, I play bishop takes f6. I'm very happy as black, I think.
Yeah, maybe there's
I'm holding on to pawn on d5. Pardon me?
Maybe there's knight e5 and saying that, okay, if you want, you can take on d5, but you'll open up my bishop, and eventually you'll have to deal with some f7 nonsense or something. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, quite honestly.
But I think knight b6 or rook c8 is good too. Just wait it a bit, try to question white. Hey, what are you doing? But I think I like black's position. I think knight b6 is coming, and
rook c8 could be designed around playing. Rook c8 could be designed around playing the move knight c5. In fact, looks like that's what white was afraid of after playing this move d4. So now I think knight b6 looks quite good. I'm not sure. Yeah. Like, is there?
I don't see any tactics here.
Knight b6. I think we would have to play d6. Knight b6, d6, and if we take with the pawn, rook takes e8, and we can't take back with the knight. So the line is after 15 d4, knight b6, pawn to d6, e takes d6, rook takes e8. We have to take with the queen because the knight is pinned, and then there's queen takes on d6. And I'm not sure what we've gained. We've certainly avoided losing a pawn there. But
yeah, but on knight b6 after d6, we can maybe just play queen takes d6.
Queen takes d6.
I think we've simplified the position a bit, as in it's not the pawn on d4 isn't as weak as it was before, considering there is an open file for black to target it, and I think it looks fairly balanced, an equal game thereafter. So knight b6, d6 looks maybe equal. Maybe that's why Xiam is thinking a bit, trying to find something maybe a little bit more challenging for white. But as we see, Lawrence Cooper is rated 800 on chess.com. So Xiam is trying to take advantage of that rating.
Right. All right, let's see. Let's go back to Hansen's game.
He's much stronger than 800.
Hansen is everybody. It's actually quite disturbing. Everybody but board number 3 is down like to 3 minutes on the clock here for the Chessbrahs. And he plays queen b6. But let's circle back to Hansen's game and see where it ended up. We saw after e5, we played bishop g3, bishop to e6, knight to d5, utilizing that square I talked about, rook to c8, king to b1, knight to f6, queen to e3, bishop to e7.
Move 14, right?
Yeah, sorry, move 14, queen to e3, bishop e7, knight takes f6, g takes f6. Otherwise, there could be some nonsense with, some pressure on the d6 square. G takes h6, a3, b5, knight h4, headed for f5. B4, knight f5, b takes a3, queen takes a3, bishop f5, pawn takes on f5, knight d4, queen to a4 check, king to f8, rook takes on d4, an exchange sack from Hansen.
What a beautiful exchange sacrifice. Wow.
Yeah, this looks quite good for Hansen. I'm quite impressed with this position because look at this very poor bishop on e7. It's just a very tall pawn, as every commentator ever would like to talk about tall pawns. It's like completely doing nothing. So we play either like bishop d3. I would be very concerned.
I'm playing bishop c4 as well. I'm putting my bishop on d5, putting my bishop on b3.
Yeah, the rook is coming to
my
e-file.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, this looks quite good. In fact, like the rook on h8 even is just completely out of the game as well. So I think this is a great exchange sack. I'm personally, because I don't like to face any pressure whatsoever. I'm a bit scared of any counterplay that could develop against our king, which is why I wanted to play bishop d3 to protect c2. But I certainly think that we have just a very strong position here as white.
Yeah. Eric is attacking. He isn't defending. He's playing bishop c4, and if he needs to defend c2, he's putting his bishop on b3, putting his queen on d5. The only way to guard f7 is with rook h7 or queen e8, and he's bringing that rook to the e-file or d-file, and he is going to be a hungry gentleman. And another idea is maybe bishop takes a6, and maybe try to push the queenside pawns.
Okay,
but okay, black plays queen c7, which is reasonable.
Bishop d3, and black is going to try to exchange queens, but we should not allow this, I don't think. He wants to exchange queens and play d5. So, what do you think here? Do we play like queen a4, queen g4? Do we avoid this queen trade, or do we accept it? Because d5 could be, he finally activates his bishop.
Yeah, if I'm white here, maybe it's hard to say. I'd really have to think about the position for a long time to decide where I put my queen. I think practically speaking, I just move my queen anywhere. I'm down to 3 minutes. I think I just move my queen maybe to, I don't know, maybe a4, and then just bring the rook to e1 and just try to play quick moves.
Some developments. So we'll leave Hansen to it. There's some developments on board 4. Shyam has won a queen for some amount of material. Thanks to the chess kid in the chat for mentioning that. So we left off after queen b6. There was queen b4. Oh, and now queen b6. Pretty obvious what we're going for, right? b4, or trying to trap the queen over there. Queen to b4. Bishop to f8 with maybe a discovery threatened. Bishop to e5, and now this move e5. Attacking the bishop, attacking the queen, and now we saw takes en passant, and we won a queen for some wacky amounts of material. In fact, on move 20, we saw f8 takes e8 knight check, which is very cute. And at the end of the line, it looks like we're up material. We have all 4 minor pieces, and we're just up a rook for a queen. It looks like. Am I wrong, or what's going on?
Right?
Or a queen for a rook rather.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're just going to win this game.
Maybe play. He takes on c3 and then maybe play knight fd7 to maybe take on
knight f8 d7. Yes. And
Shyam should be winning this. 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Right. I think a guy of Shyam's quality shouldn't have a problem.
There is some counterplay. We have to be aware. There's just the tiniest bit of counterplay for white. There's some. I would be a bit scared of like bishop takes on f6 and rook e3, rook e7 check with rook f7. But as long as if you're a good chess player like Shyam clearly is, it shouldn't be scary, and you'll do fine. In fact, Raja has already won his game. Am I just seeing things here? I was terrified by this game. What happened here? Let's go.
His opponent blundered. His opponent allowed him to play knight takes d5.
Knight takes d5, knight d2, and then after bishop d7, we just took on. So let's go to move 29 after knight takes d5.
And then we can check this game later, perhaps. Yes. Maybe we can jump to the other games.
So Aman is actually down to under a minute. Let's see how the game is going here. He's actually down in exchange. Down in exchange and equal pawns. I'm not too thrilled with this position. I mean, what's going on here? He just blundered 93.
So what position are you looking at?
So 30-93. We just blundered this move, and we're just down to full exchange. And
it looks like a tricky move though.
Aman does have a bit of counterplay. He does have a bit of counterplay. Maybe we could. I would aim for it to play like Rook C2 in some cases, but it's probably just a pipe dream. I'm kind of not. I'm very unsure about this position. What's happening on G4? G4 looks like a scary sort of move.
Well, maybe I think Aman can maybe pull pull a board for Hudinovic against Justin Tan here. The rook can come to C2. Okay, he played G4. Your move. I hope it's a bad move, but it looks like a good move.
Well, we could play just maybe. The problem is if we play Queen D5, there's Queen E4. So we really need to figure out
F7. That's the problem.
We need to figure out a way to get in here.
Queen F4. I like Queen F4 because if you take on H5, now you have the G file. You have a juicy check and checkmate. Because you can't take on H5 because Queen G5 is mate in 2.
Right, of course. You can't take on H5, which is why I wanted to play Queen D5. But
yeah, and you're threatening here as Black H4 and Queen G3.
Yes, and he can't play. He really shouldn't be able to play Queen E4 because there is like Rook C2, and that's a good move. That's a really good move.
And that's why Aman was shaking his head.
Okay. So we want to avoid the exchange of queens.
Yeah.
And is there like some wackiness? Rook takes F7. Is that even like an idea? Rook takes F7.
Rook takes F7. Queen C6 maybe.
Queen C6. Okay.
I don't believe in it. You play maybe just Queen E2, but that was a big. I think that's a big blow. You'd rather
C6,
not
Queen
lose
C6.
the rook.
What happens? What happens here? Queen C6.
Queen E2. Queen E2. Queen C6. Queen E2.
Man, that's.
And then Rook C2, Rook D2. But Aman.
It's quite.
It looks like he had something. Maybe.
Wait, hold on. Queen E2, Rook to C2.
Rook D2.
Rook D2, D3.
Queen E3 maybe.
Queen E5 is scary.
Yeah, I'm on down to 9 seconds.
Yeah, this is not a good game. This is not a good game for us, like whatsoever. Okay, so king to F8 perhaps because the pin is quite disturbing. This is absolutely a lost position for us against Justin Tan. Okay, he plays H4. But there's maybe just Queen E6 check, exchanging queens. We're gonna give the check.
Eric, let's maybe jump to Eric's game maybe because it looks like Aman's gonna lose here. But I'm just curious to see how Eric is doing.
Okay, so Eric he was down the exchange, and we actually it looks like our game is not going well either. We had.
Let's maybe go to the final position because they're both low on time, like the live position. I mean. Right.
Okay, so we after Queen A4, move 32. Rook to B8 was played. This looks like a very, very, I don't know. I'm scared here.
Doesn't look good.
Not at all. Because there's like Queen C2, for example, is just coming. Or sorry, Queen C1. Excuse me. Yeah, and Eric has to stop at Rook A, like Queen to A3. But could we play just simply D5?
D5 might be a good move here. Sacrificing the pawn on E7 to play Queen C1.
D5. Would we?
But it actually doesn't work because the rook on B8 is hanging. But actually, wait, could it work? No, it couldn't work. I thought I could play Queen A5 check, but Queen goes back to A3.
This is just Eric is shaking his head. He's very.
Yeah, this looks dead lost.
He's completely lost here against this IM, and it's just he's not too happy.
Too bad. Looks like our top 2 boards are gonna lose. And we're playing against the London Lions.
Yeah,
the weakest team in the
did Eric just blunder D4, D5? What's going on? I feel like D5 is just obvious. Yes.
Yeah, I don't see anything. D5 looks.
Now even worse. Even worse. And he just resigns.
Yeah.
Wow, what a massive loss for us.
What a massive loss. All right, and then at least we have Hudinovic that won as we knew up a queen.
So we've secured a draw here. Now Aman is trying to hold on, but I don't think he will. I think in fact, if we just run to Aman's game very quickly, yes, in fact, you can just take an E3.
Rook takes E3 check, and now you just run your pawns.
It's completely all over. Yeah, and we could see even resignation here. But But this is a very rough round. Our top two boards, after a good both of them started quite well, but definitely not doing too well in this round.
But at least 2 for 2. We tied this mini match with the London Lions. It's not the worst thing. We still have 6.5, so we're still in the winners column. We're still seeded number 6 out of the 16 teams. The top 6 teams get a win, so we should be okay with that. But we need as many game points as we possibly can.
Not a good loss. Absolutely not a good loss to take, or not even a good draw to take. Like it's quite. Cheyenne did eventually win, and our bottom 2 boards did win. So we have a draw secured in at least the mini match. But we need to hold on to as many points as possible here. So is there even a way for us to draw this position?
Wait, H7, King G7.
Well, no, because you can just run the pawn, right? You can just never. We need to put our bishop on E5.
Oh, wait. Could this be a draw?
It could be. Hold on. We need to put our bishop on E5.
Perhaps.
Okay, bishop E5, because we need to stay on that diagonal.
Wait, this is a draw?
We need to stay on the diagonal.
Ooh, King D5 might have been a very good move.
King D5.
This might be lost now because I can't get my bishop back in time.
Oh, okay. So we're just.
That was maybe a draw, maybe not. That was just a matter of tempos. Oh my!
Yeah, we're down just 2 tempi here.
Now it's lost for sure.
It's completely.
There might have been something there. There might have been something there.
This is quite disturbing.
Queen, and then you bring the.
It's just lost. It's just lost.
Yeah, it's lost for sure now. But
I mean, there's some stalemate hopes, but no, it's just lost. Come on, stalemate. King to King H6. Wait, hold on. What is going on? What is happening here?
What is happening here?
Is this just a draw? Like, surely this is just winning. This is just a draw.
This is winning, right?
This is
winning. This is very winning. You just queen. You just queen and King H6.
So
he didn't see it. He didn't see it initially. You just queen and play a King H6. But it took him some time to see it.
I was not seeing that.
Yeah, but it's always winning. 2 bad pawns always win. You know the win's there.
Yeah,
you just need to find it.
Okay, so we've secured a draw. So how many points do we have? We have
Yeah. Oh, that was funny.
We have it looks like we have 6.5 out of what, 12 here? 6.5 out of 12.
We have 6.5 out of 12. We are so far qualifying. As in qualifying, we're on pace for a win, but we still have many more games left.
I'd also like to point out that the average rating of that last team was 24-11, which is quite disturbing. Okay.
I wouldn't say disturbing. They're younger players, and I think they're quite talented. I think they're all underrated, but evidently they are much lower rated than, let's say, the Stockholm Swedes, the Stockholm Snowballs. But the games have just started, Eric. Eric, I'll let you take over for a little bit. I'll just be right back.
Sure. So Eric has literally pre-moved this entire game out. He is tilted out of his mind, it looks like. So we saw Grunfeld after knight f3, knight f6, g3, g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, castles, d4, d5, c4, d takes c4, knight a3, c3, bishop b takes c3, c5, e3, knight c6, queen e2. And now knight d5 is on the board, and Eric is putting on some pressure against the c3 pawn. Maybe we see a move like queen a5 here. To put even more pressure on c3 and the a3 knight. But he's literally pre-moved the entire 10 moves of this game. He has 9 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. It's in fact, both players here have pre-moved. It's quite just interesting. Queen a5 is on the board. Eric is attacking c3. There's also perhaps some, knight takes c3, queen takes on a3 ideas in the position, if ever allowed. Let's just move on to board number 2 and see how Aman is doing. Aman has played maybe a weird, not necessarily London system. We started off by playing d4, knight f6, bishop f4, e3, bishop f5, c4, e6, knight c3, c6, queen b3, queen c8, rook c1, bishop e7, knight f3, and castles. And Ahmad is putting on some nice pressure on the c file, and he just played h3, so we'll see maybe bishop e2, and castles, h3 to allow the bishop to run back to h2. So that's board number 2. Let's move on to board number 3. Raja Panjwani against Shrek David Gordetsky. He's actually, looks like he played an Alekhines, Aliekins, e4, knight f6, e5, knight d5, d4, d6, knight f3, g6, bishop c4, c6, and bishop g7, castles, bishop c7, h3, castles, rook e1, a5, a3, knight a6, knight bd2, knight ac7, knight e4, and king h8 with the idea of playing f6. And f6 is really designed around breaking apart the center square, the center wedge that white has built with e5 and d4. So after f6 we saw after king h8 we saw bishop d2, f6, queen e2, and this is the current position. I'm not quite sure what to think about this. I don't think we can really we don't want to take on e5, even though that's technically a pawn win, because our structure would be quite poor. Maybe we'll see something like bishop f5 here, or just developing the bishop. We could even consider a move like b4, maybe gaining some space on the queen side. Let's check out the board 4 game. Hrudinovic against Aaron Summerscale. He's a grandmaster, an English grandmaster rated 2321. It looks like. So we saw a French exchange French, e4, e6, d4, d5, e takes d5, e takes d5, knight f3, knight f6, bishop d3, bishop d6, castles, knight c3, bishop g4, bishop g5, c6, knight e2, bishop takes f3, pawn takes f3. Allowing the double pawns is Shyam here, and I wonder if it's just he wants to play like king h1 and maybe rook g1 in this position. Knight b to d7, knight g3, queen c7, queen d2, rook fe8, king h1, king h8, and rook g1. Exactly as I said, he's trying to open up and maybe get some counterplay here or some play here on the g file, and Black has done the same thing, just playing knight g8. Okay, I think the most interesting game by far is the Eric Hansen game, the one where he pre-moved just extensively. After the move queen a5, move 11, move 12, rook fc1, we saw knight to b8. This move makes me a little bit nervous because it looks like our queen could get trapped back here, but evidently Hansen has calculated it all. We saw knight d2 and now knight to a4, attacking the bishop on b2, knight b3, attacking our queen, and then queen to b6. Maybe there's we're still attacking that bishop, and we could consider some like knight a5, c4 ideas. And now Black took on c5, 15d takes c5, knight takes c5, knight to c4, queen b5 was played, pinning the knight to d4, and now this is the current position. And it looks like, as I mentioned, I'm a bit scared because our queen is almost getting trapped here. Are we playing something like queen to a6? It's certainly a consideration, but our knight on c6 will be taken, and there'll be some long-term pressure from this bishop. I'm very unhappy with Black's position so far. I'm not sure what happened or how much it's been theory or not, but I'm quite just like it just seems a very uncomfortable position. Like our queen doesn't actually belong over there. And are we going to allow White to? Okay, so we see queen to a6. Will we see knight takes on? Okay, we don't even see that. I wonder, is there some knight e5 stuff here, or some? Yeah, I would play maybe knight e5 and see if I can get away with that and utilize the pin. But this just doesn't seem like a good position because we're threatening to take on c6 and threatening to take on c5 first of all, but if we move the knight, maybe we're threatening to take on c6. Okay, Eric has made that not a possibility now, because now if there's knight takes c6, pawn takes c6, bishop takes on e7, there's knight takes on c3 there. So we probably can't get away with doing that, and perhaps knight e5 is coming as well to use this pin. which actually isn't a pin because the knight on d4 covers the queen on c2 or on e2. I'm not happy with this position. Maybe as a Grunfeld player, Eric will be a bit, maybe this is just normal and this is just quite, just a normal position, but it just looks really wrong to me. I'm not sure though. It's just something about it. A queen on a6 and neither of our rooks are developed, and it just doesn't seem like it should work out for us. Okay, let's see how Aman is doing here. It looks like things have simplified quite a bit for Aman. We left it off back on move number 9, h3, knight bd7, bishop e2, knight b6, attacking the c4 pawn, knight to d2 to protect the c4 pawn some more, and then we saw knight takes c4, knight takes c4, or after pawn takes c4, knight takes c4, knight takes c4, bishop takes c4, queen to d7, castles, knight to d5, bishop to g3, knight takes c3, pawn takes g3, b5, and bishop e2, bishop e4, c4, and bishop e4, c4, pawn takes c4, bishop takes c4, and I'm quite happy with Aman's position here. Both sides have an isolated a pawn, but Aman has maybe the more coherent pawn structure with this nice pawn chain. We saw an exchange on d6, bishop takes d6, queen takes d6, and I think we can be happy to some degree with maybe a slight edge, I would argue, because we could say that the c6 pawn is quite weak. And in fact, after this move rook d1, we're precluding black from ever playing the move c5 because we could play d takes c5 and there's some discoveries on the queen. So, okay, we saw rook f to b8, keeping the a rook behind the pawn. I would play maybe queen. I'm not sure what I would play here. Queen c3 seems like the only move. There was also queen a4, and maybe we're going to see just a draw here after bishop to d4, or d5 rather. We don't want to take. That will allow black to make his pawn structure practically exactly identical to ours, and it would just be a very drawish position. So I'm not sure what we should do here as white. I certainly don't want to trade bishops. Perhaps a move like rook b1 to challenge control of the only open file in the position would be a good idea. Okay, let's move on to board number 3. And okay, well, Aman just played a bishop d3. Maybe he's giving up the a2 pawn, or no, he's not. If bishop takes a2, there's queen takes on c6. But let's move on to Roger Panjwani's game against Shrek David. Just some.
Hi, Eric. I'm back. Sorry for that.
I'm very happy for you to be back, Elias. It was getting very lonely over here. But okay, we're on Roger Panjwani's game. We're on move 13, queen e2, and Roger finally decided that he wanted to win a pawn, or to win some kind of pawn, and took on e5. F takes e5.
That looks wrong.
It does look wrong. It looks quite wrong. I don't know what to like. It seems after knight g6. What is going on here? There's just some complicated. He didn't even win a pawn here, and it just looks like we have a very poor structure. There's move 17, knight gf3, knight e6, g3, rook f6, knight g4, rook takes an exchange sack. What is going on here? Why would we sack the exchange? I'm very confused. Are we playing knight d4? Knight d4 was played, and I'm entirely confused by this position. What are your thoughts?
Very sharp. I think maybe he has some chances, Raja, if we keep on going through the game.
Right, after queen f7, move 22, there was king g2, knight f3, knight takes knight on d5, pawn takes, and now this is the current position.
I just like to point out, after knight f3, if white plays queen takes f3, there's bishop takes h3 check, but if we'll keep on going,
right.
You'll see that.
Right, well, okay, but this is the current position. After c takes d5, wait, we're just getting our exchange back here, it looks like, after...
Actually, you know what, Eric? I don't even think maybe I'm taking necessarily the rook on e1. I may be tempted by playing a move like e5 if the bishop retreats, let's say, to bishop d3. I might be playing a move like e5 and then playing e4 instead of taking the rook on e1.
I was thinking that white would almost certainly play a move like bishop e2 to just get that knight out of there, and that we would almost be obligated to play knight takes on e1 there. Mm-hmm. So I'm not entirely convinced by Black's play, but it looks like we're getting our exchange back.
But this looks really good now, right? I might have the center. Bishop e2, I just maybe take on e1, and then I play e5, and I have a big center. Or maybe I take on b2, who knows? And then I have a big center, the two bishops pointing to h3. I might have another attack. My rook might be coming to f8. Ooh la! This looks good for 3 Raja Panjwani.
It does look a bit shaky, wouldn't you agree? Like, we have, like, our pawn structure is terrible here as Black. I mean, okay, we have very...
So I'm quite happy with it.
We have these 2 pawn islands. Okay, and he plays, he just goes for this, but isn't this 2 pieces?
Oh,
or just up 2 pieces for a rook? What is going on? Bishop takes h3 is a massive threat.
Rook takes e7, bishop takes h3. Okay.
Okay. So
queen d5 check, and then bring the bishop somewhere. Bishop.
Queen d5 check, and then bishop f5 or something. I am not convinced.
I like maybe queen d5 check, bishop d7. Idea to play bishop c6.
Ah, bishop c6. Yes, that's even better. Bishop b7 would also have the idea of perhaps. Ooh,
this is very weird. I'm wondering why he traded queens. Objectively, it's very good, positionally speaking.
Up material, technically.
Makes sense. He wanted to maybe simplify it, which makes sense. Okay.
So we are material. B2 is hanging. We're going to maybe play like bishop f5, target c2, and how do you hold on to all your loose pawns here? Okay, and he plays c3, but bishop f5. Bishop is heading for d3, and it just looks like Black has a very nice position. Let's go circle back to Aman's game because it looks like he's down on time after the move.
Eric. I'm very frustrated. This is unbelievable. He's down 5-6 minutes every single game. It's unbelievable. It's unacceptable. Not only is it unbelievable, it's unacceptable. Anyways, let's go on.
Right. Well, it looks like we're trading queens here, and I'm still pretty happy. I think when you left, Elias, I said that I was fairly happy with Aman's position. I said that he perhaps had a slight edge based on the fact that the c6 pawn is slightly weak and that we have a better pawn structure. Maybe that this isn't the case anymore after a queen trade, and maybe the fact that Black just simply controls the b file is...
this is very good, because you know what I'm going to be doing here as white? Mm-hmm. After we do the queen trade, rook takes c5, I'm going to play f3, e4, and I'm going to win the pawn on c6.
F3, e4, exactly, yes. That looks like a pretty good idea, and... I think Aman, this is like his bread and butter.
This is bread and butter. For any Queen's Gambit player or D4 player, which I am, I would love this position as white. I'm very happy. The only thing I'm not happy of is I'm down about 5 minutes.
The time situation
I'm very happy.
Is not good at all. But like Aman, he's just going to. I think he's just going to endgame the guy. He's just going to take him to an endgame and grind him out. Being up a pawn, and especially after f5, what a weakening move. E6 is just an internally weak pawn now, especially if we end up, trading off that bishop or getting rid of that bishop or forcing that bishop away. So, okay, let's see how Hansen is doing. I think when we left off, he was pre-moving. He played knight 18, knight a4, rook ab1, bishop to d7, bishop f1, and now b6. Would you agree with me that this is quite an ugly position after knight d2, queen c8, queen a6? This is very ugly. Our pieces are just getting bullied here. Like the weak light squares. It's not a happy position at all.
Yeah. So this doesn't look. Maybe he can hold this. This reminds me actually of his game versus Varusian Akobian last week, where it kind of looked like a kind of a Grunfeld kind of same type of game where he was much worse and somehow he won. So I think you can never count Eric out, but maybe he does okay. What happens after knight c5?
Knight c5, bishop takes c5, and I'm just going to endgame you and play like rook to b7, like after a queen trade or something.
Okay, so I have two bishops. I have my bishop on g7. That might be powerful, but I don't think it's totally game over. But of course, I prefer white. But I don't think it's the end of the world.
Can we play knight a5 here? Is that possible? Knight a5 with the idea that we're targeting. Maybe not. E7 is hanging here.
E7 is hanging, and knights on the rim are dim. And
both of our knights are on the rim. Yeah, this is not a happy position.
I agree with you. Okay, man. White is low on time. I like Eric here. I think Eric is the boss, the dictator,
the board one, the
Chessbrah.
Maybe we just see a massive amount of exchanges here. Knight c5, bishop takes c5, pawn takes c5, queen takes on c8. You know, rook takes c8, knight takes c6. And
I'd be very happy. I think black would be better there with the two bishops.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Even though white has the d file, he's not infiltrating on b7. I think Eric is doing okay here. Knight c5, and it's okay.
It looks weird. It certainly looks weird. I mean, I'll be very surprised. Well, not surprised because it's Hansen. But if it were me, I would expect to lose this game. I would be unhappy seeing this on my board in a real game. So let's see how Amon is down to under a minute. Let's see how this game is developed. After we saw an exchange of bishops, like I mentioned, and it looks like Amon is just getting in with this move, Queen A7, move 29. Queen A7, if we see like any Rook A7 stuff, or Rook B7, excuse me, we'll see Queen A6, and we're targeting E6 and also threatening Rook C8, and it looks, or
this looks killer. This looks like Amon should win this. This is an Amon position.
Absolutely an Amon position. We have to be just slightly careful over some Queen D6 nonsense. Okay, so he played Rook A8, which is a very. Can we just take that and play like Rook to C8 check and get behind the A pawn, or is that?
Yeah, but the problem is black gets Rook A4 there, and he's gonna win our pawn.
Rook A4. Oh, Rook A4. Okay, I didn't see that.
So we might be stuck with playing Queen C5, and
Queen C5.
The progress we made with Queen A7 is not present anymore. But maybe we're repeating there.
Queen C6 is an idea. There is Rook to B6. But okay, I think I definitely prefer white here. Let's move on to Raja Panjwani and see how this game is developing. We left it off, and in fact, Raja is just completely winning. We're on move 40, bishop D5, and he's forked
Excellent.
And it looks like he's very nearly mating white here, and I think that we can expect either resignation or something here, but he'll eventually, looks like he'll just be up a piece or even just
one. He's great. He's winning this. There's no chance.
I might not even
actually blunders a rook with a mouse slip. I have Raja here winning 99.9% of the time.
Absolutely. I might not even take on F7. I might just, okay, so he does take on F7 and probably just B6. B6 to hold on to the pawns. But we gotta be quite careful because
I play Rook takes B2 here actually.
Rook takes B2. What about F4? Yeah, if we play any other move other than this, then there's F4.
Oh,
which is very scary.
Oh, so he wants to play King H4, King G3, and made him on.
Checkmate him. Yeah, this is a nice plan, I think.
This was nice. Instead of Rook takes B2, King G5 was very cute. All right, just take on H5 with the G pawn or the King, or maybe the G pawn, so you can play King H4.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It's a bit complicated because I think white is getting B2. Which is why I was mentioning I might not even take that. I might not even take that rook.
That rook. No, but come on, Eric. We're up a piece. Let's move on to Hudinovic.
Okay, Hudinovic. Okay. All right. Well, this game has progressed pretty normally. I think we're a bit worse here as white because we have the doubled F pawns, and we need to get activity somehow. It looks like black is incredibly active. Okay, we are a bit active ourselves on the rook on the G7 square, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on this position, Elias?
One thing I find very, very funny is that the London Towers have a GM on their fourth board.
I know. I was mentioning this. He's 23
Oh, you're mentioning that. My apologies.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think I prefer black, you know.
Amon is blitzing out moves here. Hold on. Let's switch very quickly to Amon's game. He's
but
I
guess Hudinovic should be a draw, but I prefer black.
So we have Amon needs to track down this A pawn here. That's the most important thing.
What?
Just to track down
A5. That was strange. I would have maybe taken on D5. But okay.
This looks bad. Now. Ooh, what a finesse. F4 to play Rook F2. Oh no. This looks very poor. What are we doing here? Oh, there's takes. Is this just a draw? This looks like just a draw.
Well, black can get a draw for sure. It just depends.
He doesn't. I don't think
wants more than a draw.
Does he want more than a draw? I think this is just a draw. I don't see any way for black to progress. He just needs to not get flagged.
Rook A1 is forced, right?
No. Why can't we play King F? Ooh, he's trying to win. Man, are we just gonna lose this game? Oh no! This is horrible.
Very good. Could this still be a draw?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe we can still draw this, but
Rook F1.
Rook F1, yeah. Check, king over, check. So he's threatening to play. Now he'll play Rook F2.
Yeah, he's gonna lose the pawn. He's
absolutely losing the pawn. And the time situation again.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Flag. Oh, I thought he was gonna flag there. Okay, at least he got the rook out of the way, and maybe.
Right, maybe. I mean, this could just be a theoretical draw. But okay, we've just lost 2 pawns, and we're just it's over. Let's go to Eric's game. Eric is blitzing out moves where we see knight to d2 on the board, and what?
Oh, they're down to 10 seconds in a very complicated middle game.
This is insane. It's completely bizarre. It's just some middle game. Like after blitzing out the opening, they spent like a very long time in the middle game. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on here.
No, that's okay. No need to commentate. The moves are going so fast. But I prefer black. I prefer black.
I do prefer black as well. I think we have a better pawn structure.
Knight coming to d3. Better pawn
structure. Knight to d3. Yes, will be very decisive. But is there bishop not getting trapped? Is that f3 here?
I play maybe. Ooh,
f3.
Is that free?
f3. What is going on here? Bishop. I guess bishop f5. If there's e5, are you going to?
Come on, Eric. No draw. Eric, no draw. Okay, his opponent didn't want to draw.
Well, I feel like we're just trapping the bishop. What is going on?
But it's okay. It's okay. I think f6, f6. No, it doesn't work. F6, f6, f6.
F6. Okay, a good resource, but it
doesn't quite work. I think he had better, but anyways, no need to commentate too much on this game. So it's going so fast. He's gonna flag. Eric, don't flag.
Oh no! Have we flat? Oh no!
Unbelievable. That's oh. Are you serious right now?
Vujinovic has drawn. Let's go to board 3. Raja Panjwani. We're down a piece on board 4 or board 3 here, with almost no compensation.
Anyways, sorry. Hudinovic drew, and then we have Raja. Oh my, Eric, we've played the 2 London teams, the bottom teams of the Central Division,
and Raja is just lost.
Can't muster anything. But we beat the Stockholm Snowballs, who are the top seed of.
Raja's just lost the position. He's completely lost after rook to f2, forcing a trade of rooks. It's all over. It's all over. We've lost to just the bottom 2 teams.
No, but Raja's winning. No. Raja's winning.
No, Raja's white.
No, Raja's black.
Raja's white.
Raja's black.
Oh, is he really? Oh,
yes.
Wow. Oh, I'm completely... Oh, wow. Holy crap. He is winning. Man, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I was just seeing, like, the things. Raja won. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought Raja was white. My mistake.
And I think the games have just started.
They've just started.
Let's start with Eric, maybe.
Okay, so against Tom's Catans, we see e4, and I wonder what Eric is going to go with here to start off the game. In fact, I wonder, is he even connected, because he's just not moving. It's 15 seconds, and he's just not moving.
No. No. Do we have a camera on Eric? And Eric is not even there.
He's not even...
He paid $20 for his internet for the day, and he is connected because his webcam is there.
Right.
But I wonder what he's doing. Is he complaining to the hotel front desk? Did he have to take a quick washroom break? What's going on?
Well, anyways, we can move on to Aman's game.
Yes, let's move on.
Quickly played a London system. So d4, d5, bishop f4, e6, e3, knight f6, knight f3, bishop d6, knight bd2, castles from black, c3, b6, bishop d3, c5, bishop takes d6, queen takes d6, knight e5, knight c6, f4, knight e7. And this is the current position. The knight is headed for maybe f5 or g6, and I think we can be very happy here as white. What are your thoughts on this position? I'm sure it's some theoretical position, but this looks...
Yeah, I'm very happy. I have my knight on e5. I'm ready for maybe some queen f3, queen h3, g4, g5. Oh, this looks...
Did Aman win a game in... what was his most recent tournament? The one where he got the last norm? There must have been a game like this. Yeah, Barcelona or London. He played very similar to this.
If you look up London in any book, this is probably the position you're trying to get out of the opening. This is fantastic.
Yeah. This is a really good position.
This is very nice.
If anybody plays the Stonewall from the white side, this is like a Stonewall, except that we don't have the problem bishop, the problem dark squared bishop, and so I think we can be very, very happy. We have massive control over e5. We have some control over e4, and then the bishop is pointed at h7. I'm very, very happy with white, and g4. Just Amon is lashing out. He's going to just attack this guy. And
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, g6, and this is shaping up almost exactly like that. I need to find, maybe someone in the chat can help me out and find the game that was just a lot like this. Either from one of Eric's or Amon's previous tournaments, he played just a game that was very, very similar. I'm not sure. Maybe someone can find it out for me. Let's move on to Raja Panjwani, board number 3.
And I liked one of the comments I heard, à la carte, says the Butcher Mio. It's a very nice saying. I very like it. Yeah, let's move on to Raja.
Raja. So he's played the Modern Defense, one of my, at least similar one of my favorite openings, and we've transposed into, I think, maybe not sure if it's the main line or a very topical, not topical, but an interesting line of the Pyrrhic after move 8. So we saw move 1, e4, g6, d4, bishop g7, knight c3, c6, knight f3, d6, a4, knight d7, bishop e2, queen c7, castles, knight gf6, bishop g5, h6, bishop e3, castles, a5, rook b8, h3, b5, a takes b6, queen takes a takes b6, queen d2, king h7, getting out of the way, and maybe for f5 ideas, rook fd1, b5, bishop d3, e5, taking some of the center back, d takes e5, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, b4, knight h5, headed to f4, bishop e2, bishop e6, saying that, hey, take on h5, that's fine, maybe I'll put a rook on g1, he takes on h5, g takes h5, and queen e2 is the current position, and what is going on?
Double-edged decision by Raja, I think.
King g6. This is not how I learned how to play chess.
I don't think any of us learned how to play chess in this manner. Except there's a famous game by Nigel Short where he actually king walked his king and mated the guy in an Aliekin. If you type in Google Nigel Short king checkmate, it'll probably pop up. But yeah, this looks very strange. Very strange.
The a7 was played, rook b7 immediately, and they're just blitzing out the moves here. But I'm just confused. Like, king g6, what is going on? Am I like... I'm completely confused by that series of moves. So, all right, can you take us through maybe Hudinović's game?
Yeah, let's go to Hudinović. So if we start on move 1, and we'll just go through the games, through the moves 1 second at a time, it looks like it was a line that Xiam likes to play on the black side, where the queens were exchanged on move 8, and then c4 was played. We'll just go to the position, actually. Not much has changed. If you go to the position after 15, knight c5, looks like the light square bishop might have to move, but it might be, can maybe white play maybe a move like rook d1 perhaps, and after knight takes d3, rook takes d3, the pawn on d6 might be hanging, and if black plays bishop f5, I like white's position. He has the 2 bishops.
What is happening here?
He doesn't seem to have any problems here.
But knight c5, and are we just not losing a pawn here?
But
we took on f5. Okay, yeah.
We're not really losing a pawn because we just kind of won a pawn. So castle, I didn't like castle as much. I liked rook d1 more because I wanted to guard the pawn
F2.
on f2.
Yeah.
I think rook d1 is maybe slightly more accurate, perhaps, than
this seems okay.
Castle. It's hard to say.
We have some pressure on d6, and that could be important later on because once d6 falls, maybe e5 will fall as well. So I think we could just see. Well, it's complicated.
No, but this was the problem, Eric. This was the problem. I think after rook takes d6, bishop takes c2, and the pawn on f2 was hanging. But the same line would have happened after rook d1. So yeah, it's hard to say. I think white had better, but this should be okay. I think maybe white is slightly better here. And knight's going to come to e3. A rook's going to come to d1. Well, I like white here. I like white.
We need to recover, protect f2, and then d6 will be this very nice long-term weakness that we can target. maybe are we just going to see an exchange here? Certainly not. I don't think knight d4 is very good. Okay, so he's going to target the c
pawn.
pawn.
Black played a good move, bishop c2, because maybe the knight was going to come to d5. It's either or. It depends how you want to play these positions. There's many different ways of playing it. But
so we played f3 to stop. Now we're threatening to take on d6, perhaps, and I wonder what we'll see. Perhaps rook d8 or rook f6 even better. But can we not simply just play rook d1 and double up? Okay, so he's playing against rook g2. What is there to say here? Like it seems like it could just be equal.
This is going to be a very positional game. Does white play g3 here? Does he not? Because he plays g3, f3 is weak. How does he take the pawn on d6? It's very strategic. It's a very strategical game. I think the better player will win for sure. It's just black is up 3 minutes. I'm worried a little bit about Xian. Maybe he doesn't come up with a good plan because maybe black's ideas are quite straightforward. Just kind of bring the king maybe to e6. And improve maybe his rook on c8. But in the meantime, what does white do? So I think it's a little bit easier for black to play. But let's maybe move to Eric's game.
Let's move to Eric's game. Okay, so let's we left on move 1 because he just wasn't moving. And we saw a Sicilian Khan. So e4, c5, knight f3, e6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, a6, c4, knight f6, knight c3, queen c7, a3, d6, bishop e2, b6, bishop e3, bishop b7, f3, knight bd7, castles, bishop e7, queen d2, castles, rook fc1, rook fc8, putting pressure on the c4 pawn perhaps, king h1, rook ab8, maybe some overprotection over b6. This could be theory. I'm completely unaware. Rook c2, h5, knight d1, queen d8.
Yeah, these are all very thematic moves. I think this is all theory.
Queen d8, knight f2, d5. Okay, finally getting in that break. It still could be theory. I don't know. It takes d5. It takes d5. Knight f5, attacking the bishop. Bishop to c5. Bishop takes c5. Knight takes c5. Rook to d1. Knight e6. Pawn takes on d5. Rook takes c2. Queen takes c2. Knight takes d5. Queen bishop c4. Queen c7. Pinning the bishop. Queen b3 and knight df4. And this is the current position. I quite like Eric's position. I'm not sure about you, Elias, but it looks like we have some nice pressure on this long diagonal. Like I could envision some knight takes g2 stuff in the future. I'm not sure if it works here, and it probably doesn't, but I could definitely see something happening. In fact, actually, Raja has won already.
Yeah, Raja has already won. He was able to trap his queen, but I'd just like to add a point regarding Eric's game. I think a big threat of his is maybe to try to bring not right away, but like queen c6, if it could work, but it doesn't work because of 97 check, but to play knight takes g2 and queen takes f3, and correctly white has played bishop f1. So I prefer black's. Look at black. He's getting active pieces. The knight on f5 and the knight on f2 are now being double attacked. So, what does white do now? Is he losing a piece? Or probably not. Maybe knight e3 holds, but it's looking very good for Eric. Very good for Eric.
Remind me when the round ends, I really want to see how this king on g6 managed to win the game for Raja.
It actually was a great piece because it managed to protect another piece to trap the queen.
So Raja won by trapping the queen. Let's move on to Aman's game, and you're going to be very upset because he's down to 1 minute to 9.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm very frustrated. I'm giving him a pep talk in between rounds maybe. I might have to log off and maybe go find him wherever he is, but this is unbelievable. He had a beautiful a la carte London. These moves should be coming thematically. It should be black who should be
we played rook ace. So after we left off on queen f3, rook ac8, g4, g6, and Aman played g5, just breaking apart breaking apart black here. After e takes c5, g takes c5, knight e4 is evidently what puzzled Aman so much because it looks like he's just attacking the d2 knight. So is knight takes e4 just not an automatic? I guess the concern is we're almost obligated after knight takes e4, pawn takes e4, bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4, queen takes e4, knight takes f5. We're almost obligated to sack on f5. with the rook, because otherwise it feels like we're just down. So, in fact, exactly that.
Yeah, I was looking at this line. I think he had to do this if you want to attack, but it doesn't look like it's doing anything.
I don't think we're going to get anything out of
it. He
this.
has nothing. His king is weak. Rook d1 check doesn't do anything.
Right.
He's overthinking it. He's overthinking it. I think that's the characteristic. When you get nervous, you overthink things. You overthink things.
This is not very good. I was wondering if we could play. I need like 2 extra tempi here to get what I want to work here working, but it's just.
And I can't believe it. We're playing a 10-minute game, Eric. We're playing a 10-minute game,
he's down
and
to
he's
20
down
seconds.
9 minutes. How is that possible?
He's down to 20 seconds. Like he's completely, and he's just completely lost. It feels like he's just 100% lost. Okay, there is some counterplay. There should be some counterplay, but not enough to justify like a 9-minute thing. I mean, certainly not. This is just maybe rook to d1 or rook to e8 rather, and this is absolutely not.
No, this is very sad. I'm very disappointed. It shows that he's really out of shape. He hasn't been playing, I think, maybe over the board as much, but he's playing online a lot, so I don't think there's a real excuse.
So do we? I mean, this is completely concerning because we have to play maybe rook e1. Okay, king f2, I guess, but this is just a very frustrating game. Very frustrating.
Should we move on to another game?
Let's see how Hansen is holding up here. We mentioned that we like this, or at least I mentioned that I like this position. We left off after queen b3, move 25, knight df4, bishop f1, queen c5, attacking the knight on f2, knight e3, and b5, knight to e4, bishop takes e4, pawn takes e4, and now queen to e5, queen b4 is played. I really do like what Eric has going on over here. We have this weak e4 pawn, and we have our knights in very good positions here, but I'm unsure as to how to make progress. What do you think that we need to do in order to make progress in this game? Elias?
Maybe I play a move like h4, h3, or maybe I try to activate my rook to maybe c8.
I was definitely considering the move h4, but I got concerned that is there knight g4 or is just knight g4? Knight g4 perhaps is just nothing.
Yeah, I don't think it's doing much. After g4, I don't see where it's necessarily going.
Okay, he plays rook c8.
Looks normal as well.
It's I feel like, yeah, this is a very practical move. We don't need to be on the b file anymore. Let's put the rook on an open file.
And unfortunately, Amon has just lost on time, Eric.
Amon has lost time, but okay, his position was just completely lost for no reason. He was just getting mate. There's mate and 2 on the board, and he's completely tilted out of his mind, I would imagine here. If you look at the cameras there. But okay, let's go on to Hudinovic.
Yeah, we haven't checked him out for a while.
Shyam is playing an IM here from looks like the flag is the Czech Republic, and he looks like he's up a pawn. Am I counting correctly? No, I think he's.
No, I think the counting isn't perfect, Eric.
Okay.
But I think I do agree with you though that I think he has a.
It's a very nice position. Yeah, we have this nice blockade on c4. Someone in the chat mentioned he was down a pawn or up a pawn, but we have this nice blockade on c3. We're stopping the c4 pawn, and we have this maybe our b5 pawn feels a lot more mobile than the c4 pawn does for black. So I think we can be happier with black's with position here.
And bishop b4 check might be a tricky move. I think it's rook c8. I think bishop b4 check here. Does it do anything? Maybe not.
I think
bishop b4 check, king e6.
King e6. Yeah.
Wait. Bishop b4 check? Yeah, okay. I was maybe trying to transpose to a winning pawn endgame. Because if I play rook a6 and we trade and then it's white's move, bishop b4 check, bishop takes e7 is a winning pawn endgame. But I don't think it works quite yet. Actually, bishop b4 check, king e6, bishop takes e7, king takes e7, rook a7 check. And then the king goes back to the 8th rank.
Can we start off with rook a6? Rook a6, we could
maybe take.
No, I don't think. Okay, so he starts off with bishop b4, and maybe we will see rook a6, but I guess the issue is that he has knight c6. So maybe we need to. Why can't I just play like? Can I just play like king d4?
King d4, right?
And just take on c4.
Yeah,
what's going on?
I agree. Just king d4 perhaps, and it's just play normal chess, right? You see a pawn, take a pawn. King d4, see a pawn, take a pawn. I very like it. I think Shyam should be able to win this. The only thing, he is getting low in time. And we need this win. We need this win. Very good performance by Raja Panjwani. He won.
Let's check out how Eric Hansen, he played Rook C, and then there was Knight G3.
Exciting stuff. We need a big win here.
Yeah, there's G3 from Catan's here. And I guess the issue is that if we play Knight G6, then there's Rook D4. Or Rook D5, rather. Rook D5.
No problem.
I guess there's we move the queen somewhere. Should the rook really even abandon the back rank for white here? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so. I think Rook C1 would come with big effect.
So after Rook D5 even? Rook D5 is certainly worth considering because it does win a pawn if you can get away with it. But
I agree, yeah, but not really because Rook D5, Queen F6, Rook takes H5, Queen F3 check, and I win the Rook on H5.
Queen F3 check. Okay, of course, I was missing that.
H4 is coming now for black, so he's going to be opening up white's king even more. This should be good for Eric. I don't see any concerns here for him.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I agree. Find a move for white. I'm not sure.
I really can't. I'm thinking maybe Bishop E2, but then just H4, Bishop pretty much any move. We just simply can't stop H4 from happening. So
maybe you play A4. Maybe you try to simplify the pawns on. You play A4, then you play maybe Bishop takes A6. Maybe that's what you try to do. But H4 is coming. This looks good for Eric.
I agree.
White's king position will open without a doubt.
Absolutely. H4 is. I simply cannot find a move. Okay, well, we'll keep blundering.
I think Rook takes H5. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, because Rook C1 is coming. Maybe Rook F5 is.
Yeah, I thought that was his idea, and then he's forced to maybe Queen D4. I don't think I'd play. Maybe
I'd play Queen D8. Queen D8. Queen D8. Rook takes pawn.
I give up H5, but the rook is misplaced.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Eric, I'd just like to add, I think people on this channel can either donate or subscribe, and all these things are highly appreciated. It helps support the stream. It helps support the players. It helps support chess on Twitch. It helps support Chessbrahs. So that's very much appreciated, and all these donations and sub will be addressed at the end of the stream. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for all the support.
Absolutely.
So we saw H4 on Hansen's game, so pawn is no longer hanging. We got to be a bit careful here. There's some back rank stuff, it feels like, maybe. But okay, we always have Knight F8. So what is Rook F5 perhaps is the plan, or Rook D7, Rook F5 for. Okay, he just plays Knight F5 what is going on here, Elias? I'm very unsure.
It's very hard to say. I think here you just play strategically. You just try to put your piece on best squares, play natural moves, try to open up a position. 97 looks good. 97 looks good. The idea is play the knight against the bishop, open up the position. Bring
our
the
pawn structure here is much better than White's, and we should just have a very nice game. Rook D7 is something perhaps. Okay, that's probably even a better move than Rook D7. Yep. And what he is going.
Play Rook C4 here.
Rook C4. I'm scared of Rook D of takes and maybe not.
No, King H7. I'm very happy. I'm thinking maybe Queen H3, Queen takes E4.
King H7 is not Rook H5. This looks dangerous, Elias. It really looks a bit dangerous.
Yeah. Can we jump to Hudinovic real quick?
Sure thing. Let's look at Hudinovic. He's down to 17 seconds. Rook C4 was just played in Eric's game. It looks like this is just a... Is this not a winning king and pawn? It certainly feels like a winning king and pawn.
Yes, we got the win. We got the win.
After King G7?
There. Yeah, should be winning. Wait, King
G7, but it's king to E5. King takes on H5. Well, certainly. I mean, we're just... Oh, he's going to run.
This is winning. This is winning.
Absolutely.
Great. Excellent. There should be no problems here.
Yeah, absolutely no problem. So Hudinovic is just winning. Or should be just winning. He's just up a pawn.
King F6, King H... Ooh, he played F4 first.
I guess we're playing...
Yeah, he's playing this. He's doing it this way. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, in the end, the H pawn will just run. or the H or F pawn will just run. Let's circle back to Eric Hansen's game because he just played rook c4, evidently calculating that there's nothing to worry about.
Excellent. He played my move, and he's down. Thomas is down on time. Contents.
Right. Now,
do I play queen b7 here?
Queen where? b7?
b7. Mm-hmm. Just a quick move, just to put a little bit of pressure, not necessarily.
Queen b7.
I'm all about being practical. You got to be practical in life.
I'm struggling. What we need to do here as black, I feel, is get. Okay, so he's first going to take away any ideas of bishop takes on e6, and we need to get our queen in there somewhere. We need penetration somehow. So what do you? Okay, so we might just trade off rooks. Maybe this is even a better idea than what I was suggesting.
Queen and knight is always better than queen and bishop.
Right, the queen and knight coordinate very, very well together. In fact, white is down. Well, it's just a blitz fest because they're both down on time. Okay, the knight is getting in there, and
queen c1 check.
Queen c1 check. Well, does it not force? Okay, so he's targeting maybe something. What is going on here?
No, this is very good for black. Black is just should be winning.
Absolutely. I mean, the e5 pawn is going to be collected at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So put the knight somewhere where it attacks e5.
Okay, so
take a3.
Take a3. Is there bishop d7? Bishop d5. Excuse me. So he takes e5 instead. Now queen to e6. Queen to e6. Is that any good? No.
Did he blunder? Okay, he wants to do it this way. He seems to have maybe blundered a pawn there.
What is happening here? It's just blitz. I mean, Hansen is a very good blitz player.
But he's down on time. I hope we don't have the same thing as last time. What is he doing?
He blundered a pawn. He blundered the check.
Oof.
It's just a pass pawn. This is not very good.
Oh, this is not what. Oh no.
Not what we needed. Not what we needed at all.
No.
Hansen. I mean,
he might have to sack the knight for the pawn and just hope he can draw. Knight c5, knight c5, knight c5, and just sack. Oh no, unbelievable. What is this? Knight takes b7. Or knight a6 if he wants to play in this manner. I would have just taken b7 and hoped to hold.
And he just lost on time.
What? He lost on time. Oh,
he lost on time. This is not okay, so the match is drawn. The match is drawn.
Just queen f6. He should have played queen f6 there. Anyways, he lost on time. Anyways, I'm very disappointed.
We can check in with the rest of them, but we won't review the games. Let's just focus on Hansen versus Carlsen. Hansen starts off with e4, and Carlsen he's playing the modern g6. It's been like a theme of today. Everybody's playing the modern.
He's not taking Eric seriously, or is he taking him seriously?
Yeah, it's very. Oh man. I mean, I think he's playing the modern because he wants to win. He wants to win the game. So he's playing something offbeat or relatively offbeat, and now it transposes in just to a classical Pyrrhic. The main line here is c6 or castles, and castles for black, castles for white, and then c6. Okay, knight c6 is played. Now, if d5 here in this position, perhaps Magnus is planning to play knight b8. This is called the I think the Nimzovich or no Shigorin retreat. The Shigorin knight retreat if d5, and then the idea is to play c6. But that didn't happen. Bishop e3 is on the board now. Bishop g4 and black will be playing e5 at some point. e5. So
yeah.
This is I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to play. I'm very happy here. I would take this position as black. I'd be so thrilled with this. But perhaps Eric has something that something he's going to break out to refute the modern. He plays h3. We see an exchange, and I imagine we'll see e5. Exactly, e5. And if we see d5, we could perhaps play. Maybe Magnus is either playing. He could play knight d4, but I imagine knight d7 or knight e7 here, and we might see a very King's Indian-esque position. But I often like maybe it's completely incorrect. Okay, we see knight e7, and we'll perhaps knight e8 or knight d7, and we're playing f5.
Yeah, this looks like kind of like a King's Indian type of position. But I think white. I think I slightly prefer white. He's slightly ahead in time. He can get his b4 c5 quite quickly compared to most line, but it's double edged. It's like
we saw a flurry of moves here. Eric decided to remaneuver his knight to a3 in order to play c4. So he played move 11, knight b5, a6, knight a3, knight to d7. As I mentioned, in order to play f5, c4, f5, rook c1, king h8, b4, and a5. And now the move
now c5 is critical here.
So it looks like it transposed almost directly into some sort of King's Indian, and Eric is playing very quickly.
I like this for white. Knight b5 coming. Knight b5, please.
Yeah, knight b5 or knight c4 with the idea of hitting d6. I would play knight c4. I'm not sure about you. I'm a bit scared of putting my knight on b5 because I don't know. Maybe we're going b5 into c7 into.
I like knight b5, knight d7, knight e6. I need to play aggressively versus my knight, so I need to punish him.
And he takes on e4. I imagine bishop takes e4 is most logical.
Maybe bishop g4. Okay, bishop takes e4.
Yeah, the concern is there's perhaps knight f5.
But bishop b4 I think should be played. I'm not sure what he's thinking. Bishop g4. Okay, I considered that, but I thought knight f5 wasn't anything special. I don't like bishop g4, Eric. I think bishop takes e4 was playing logical moves.
Well, I mean, what do we do here? Do we take? Do we play queen b3 or something? Like this is my concern. Do we play like knight c7, knight e6? This is very weird.
Is his idea knight c7, knight e6 to win the exchange? Was that what he was because you win the exchange after knight c7, knight e6. Is that what he was really all happy about?
Maybe, perhaps knight c7. I mean, this could be what we see. It certainly looks like Black is getting a lot of pawns for it, and he's creating a lot of weaknesses here. It's really hard to not like Black, given that Black is just Magnus Carlsen, and you gotta have faith in Carlsen to just be Magnus Carlsen. But
yeah, I guess so. I guess that was his idea. But Eric, do we forgive the Eric Hansen if he wins this game? After,
of course, I would be happy with a lot. I mean, it's just so cool to say that Chessbrah beat Eric Hansen. Chessbrah beat Magnus Carlsen. Like, as long as we stay in the league, and of course I'm not happy with the loss, but like, it'd be so cool to say that Eric Hansen beat Magnus Carlsen in a very serious game. So, we saw. This does not look good.
So this was his idea.
But can we? Knight e6 doesn't work because he can just take on f1, and it looks like we're just maybe we're getting some counterplay, but like.
That takes e3, so rook takes f1.
Takes f1,
so queen takes f1, I guess.
And then I would just take on a2 as. Maybe not. Maybe it can't.
Queen f7. The idea is queen f7, and the idea is rook takes a2, queen f7, knight moves, queen takes g7, check.
Okay, so he's played right off the bat immediately.
Oh, that was a very nice line. Okay, yeah.
Which is quite good. I'm really not happy. Knight c5 is coming. Bishop takes e3 is coming. This is just not good. This is really not good. I'm not sure.
Can't he just play knight takes a8? What's wrong with knight takes a8? Am I missing something?
Knight takes a8. Bishop takes an e3. King over. Wait.
H1?
Surely.
Am I not just
knight takes a8.
Winning a piece? Shouldn't this be good?
Hold on.
Knight takes a8.
Bishop takes on e3. Oh, and that's what is he going to be up a piece here?
King h1, yeah.
There's he's losing a bunch of pawns.
Queen takes c1. Go ahead. Queen takes c1. Or bishop takes d7. Maybe you want bishop takes d7 first. I play queen c. It's very difficult.
I play queen takes c1. I want those dark squares.
Queen takes c1, knight c5. The knight might be trapped on a8.
Okay, so we play bishop takes d7.
It's not clear. It's not clear because you might have queen f1, queen f6 check.
I mean, it's certainly very
maybe
scary.
Maybe bishop takes d7 first. Bishop takes d7.
Bishop takes d7.
Queen takes a8. Queen takes c1, b3. Is that pawn queening?
Well, okay. So the line is what? Bishop takes on d7. Queen takes on a8. Queen takes on c1. And the concern is.
Oh wait! There's a nice move. Bishop takes d7. Queen takes a8, and then queen f6 check.
Ooh, okay. So surely he can't take on a8. Then he has to take back on d7, correct?
Yeah, and then you just play queen takes c1, and you're up a piece versus the Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion.
Wait, but can we not play, if we play bishop takes d7, can you play instead, move the bishop somewhere?
Yes, but then I play bishop e6. Wait, bishop e6, I'm throwing queen f6 check. So probably think of bishop takes d7, bishop g5.
Yeah, bishop g5 is the move. And so, and the problem...
Yeah, anyways, yeah.
Maybe are we not up a piece here? If we're not up a piece, then we're just lost, of course.
This is very complicated. Bishop takes d7. I'm seeing suggestion of bishop takes d7, bishop f4, which looks very reasonable.
So bishop takes d7. The move is queen g5. Sorry, bishop g5. Excuse me.
Yeah, I like bishop g5. You go on bishop f4. I can maybe play g3.
Can we play? If bishop takes d7, bishop g5, knight b6. If queen takes b6, is queen f8.
Oh, genius line, Eric. Genius.
So
I love it.
And then that protects the bishop on d7, and then we can follow it up with maybe a queen to b5, and that holds everything together.
Oh, Eric.
Okay, so we need to take on d7.
Eric Hansen sees the Eric Kurtz line. That's a brilliant idea. I don't think Eric sees it, and I think it works. I'm
not sure that there's certainly. I hope he takes on d7. I hope he takes on d7.
Oh, Eric! I'm trying to be as calm, cool, and collected as a commentator.
So but the problem with playing bishop
h6 is coming out.
Someone is saying bishop h6, but we needed to play bishop g5 because we wanted to protect the f6 square because we have.
But yeah, that's true. But bishop h6 might be as strong because after queen f6 check, maybe there's bishop g7.
Ah, okay, that's true. That's true. Maybe so. Bishop h6. So bishop takes d7, bishop h6.
No, but same thing. I like your knight b6.
No, knight b6 doesn't work because after queen f6, bishop g7, we don't have queen d8.
Oh, we don't have queen d8
because the queen covers d8. So the problem is bishop h6. Bishop h6 is a really nice move that I did not see. So.
So bishop h6 is the problem.
And this is why I think Eric just goes for this. And now knight c5, and I'm not convinced. I mean, it feels like we're just lost. Almost.
Queen f1.
Queen f1, queen takes, check. Are you going to play bishop e6 check and try to queen the pawn? So queen f1, queen takes, bishop f, queen takes.
I'm going for the draw, actually.
You're going for the draw.
I'm going for a perpetual. After bishop, I'm going queen f1, queen takes a8, queen f6 check, king g8, bishop e6 check, knight take. I'm playing queen.
Okay, no. We have Kempsey in the chat, and he says king g7 first. And
exactly, yeah, that's the problem.
It's just.
I'm thinking queen f1, king g7, bishop e6.
Bishop e6. Okay, that's reasonable. I guess. Why can't we just take the knight on a8? Is there queen f7? I mean, I don't see after takes. Sorry. King g7, bishop e6, queen takes on a8, queen f7, king h6, and I think we've run out of checks.
I'm trying to make maybe g4, g5 work or something like that.
I think we're just lost. I think we're just lost here.
But wait, bishop e6, queen takes a8, queen f7 check, king h6, and queen e7, threatening the perpetual again.
Okay, so bishop e6, king. Whoa. Oh, this is even better. Even better.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So can we play knight b6, and with the idea of playing queen f7, queen f8?
Ooh. Knight b6. You might play e2.
E2. God dang. This is a very tilting.
My good. Eric, this is game of the week. This is
such a nice game from Carlsen. I mean, it's just.
Any chance he calculated all this? It couldn't have been.
It could. I just don't know. I mean, he's just like, what is going on here? Like,
do you play bishop g4 here now?
Bishop g4. Is there queen takes on a8? And what?
Then I play queen e7. Queen e7. No, but
this is just lost.
By Magnus Carlsen, if this works.
This is insane. This is insane. I mean, like Carlsen, he has 8 minutes left. The entire thing is just bizarre.
So I'm seeing a suggestion of G4, but it's not really threatening anything. After G4, play E2.
Nothing. I think we need to get on the like. We need to distract that. So Bishop G4, I think, is the only move. We need to stop E2 from happening. And then after,
I like Bishop G4 here. I agree.
Bishop G4, I think it's the only move that we have. If the queen ever leaves the diagonal that it's currently on, then we can play like Queen F6 or Queen E7 and get on those dark squares and perhaps have the hope for a perpetual here. But okay, he plays Knight B6. But what about just simply
E2?
E2.
I don't like Knight B6.
Queen F2?
I don't understand E2.
Queen F2.
You have to move the queen back, right?
You have to play Queen F2.
Have to play Queen F2.
Queen F2 and I think he's just gonna take the knight and then be up like for like a billion pawns.
He's playing this. Queen E3 check? Oh no. Wait. Queen E3 check and then Knight C4.
Queen E3 check, Knight C4.
Or Knight D7, I'm not sure. Move the knight somewhere.
Oof. This is just Magnus. Knight E4, like just blitzed out. But is there no? The problem is Queen Queen
E3, Queen G5 maybe.
Queen G5, and then there's oh my god.
Queen G5.
Oh my god.
Oof.
But this is just lost. Queen takes B6. What is completely dismantled? He's absolutely dismantled. 100% dismantled. Because if there's Queen E3, Queen G5, we take the knight. There's Queen C1 check with just the winning. There's like pretty much any move here is just one.
He's probably looking for some brilliancy kind of move.
Okay, if there's Queen B6, then we have a perpetual, as Robin points out. We perpetual Queen H4, Queen B6, Queen H4.
Oh, is that the idea? Oh, yeah. I didn't see that.
So, which is nice, I think.
That's the idea. Oh, that was missed.
I did miss this, but like I still think Magnus is it's just Magnus, and he's just winning. Oh my goodness!
So there's a suggestion of maybe just Queen G5 with the idea of Queen F4.
Oh
which
no!
Magnus
This is so poor. This is just so poor.
All these moves seem to have been forced from starting from move maybe 15 or something like that.
This is so just not good. Oh
Eric is up the piece.
Well, is there just knight F2 check or something? I guess we could play like, but knight F2 check or something.
Knight F2, King G1.
Okay, King G1
or King H2 maybe is a little bit better. I don't know.
Knight B6 with the same idea. If we play.
So King H2, his idea is Queen F4.
Yeah, and then king to G2. So do we play just King to G1? If Queen D6, then King H2. No, King H2, and we're just checkmated Knight F1. So we're just lost. We're just completely lost. We're just completely 100% lost here.
King H2, Queen F4, and he's going Queen F1 maybe.
Yeah.
Or I'm not sure. Queen F4. What do you have to Queen F4?
King
G1? Queen F1 check now.
Oh,
game.
It's just mate. Wow, Eric was just
that was unbelievable.
Friggin' dismantled. Just dismantled. I mean, it wasn't. It's just what I have no idea.
I've never seen a game like that in my life. I've never seen such a brilliant game like that in my life.
Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the other games, and let's check on Amon, who's down to 18 seconds against Grandelius. What a very this position is ugly looking for Amon.
He's down to 5 minutes, or he's down in position, or
he's just.
No, but that was an unbelievable game by me.
Well,
it's a masterpiece. It might be game of the year for Pro Chess League 2018.
That is insane. I mean, but okay, like he was. We need to play like Bishop C6 here, right? Like, what do you? Oh, this is very scary.
Wow,
this is
what a
10
game.
seconds in a very complex middle game, as B Tims points out. This is heartbreaking. We're We're just Raja Panjwani has beat Roofing Lee though. What a game! We should check the game
phenomenal! Our board 4s, our board 3s are really keeping us in. A big shout out to Raja Panjwani. I think he's a PhD student at New York University. He was a master's student at Oxford as well, and he did some of his studies at Stanford as well. A well-educated man, and I think he's interested in academia, and he's putting in some very good chess results.
So he just won. Let's switch back to Mon's game though, because he is down on time. He's down so far on time, and he has 3 seconds left at Grandelius. Grandelius is no slouch. He's a very strong player. I think a second to Magnus Carlsen in at least some cases or some world championship match. And he needs to make a move. Just you gotta make moves, Mon. Takes on B
takes on B4. Yeah, you never know. You never know with Amon. He's low on time, but sometimes he can.
We need to build up the time. We need to build up the time. He needs to be pre-moving, but it's just so hard to be doing this. I mean, knight A4 seems like a good move for knight B6 or something. Or it's just, this is a rough position to be down on time in. It's just so complicated with so little time on the clock. It's.
Mm-hmm. And I'd just like to update you, no need to switch the game, but I'd just like to mention that it seems as though Hudinovic is in a very complex game. It looks like he might be on the better side of it, though. So we might still be able to maybe split with Norway.
Yeah, Bishop C5 played. We need to play Knight C6. Come on, Knight C6. Knight C6. 1 second left. A5.
A5, my goodness.
But there's just simply Bishop Knight takes, and then we just lose a piece here.
And he's down a piece.
Rook to C1, Rook to C8, and
E5 could be Bishop takes B4 and E5. I don't know. It's just game over. It's just
E5 is just, oh my goodness.
Anything works.
He's just down. He's down, and the best we can hope for again is another draw. Just another draw. Bishop takes on B4.
Bishop takes A8. Bishop takes A8.
Yeah, Bishop takes A8, Bishop takes B4, and it's over.
Yeah, Bishop takes B4, you're up a full rook.
We're down a full rook, and he resigns. So let's switch very quickly to the Cheyenne game. And it looks like, okay, you mentioned that he was on the better side, but we have these passed pawns. Looks like Black has quite a bit of pressure here. F6, we need to play Rook G8.
Rook G8? Rook G8.
There's Bishop G7.
Bishop G7 is trying to calculate what happens after Bishop G7.
We need to be able to sack, right? This is very complicated. Shyam has 1 minute left.
I think Rook G8 is forced, and then you sack on G7, but he's just making sure Bishop G7 is nothing to worry about. It doesn't seem to me like it's anything to worry about. You take with
this seems very poor. I'm very scared. Whatever position this is, we can't take on F6. We have to play. I think Rook G8 is the only move.
Yeah, Rook G8 looks. I don't think it's the only move, but I think it's the best move because you could maybe take with the F rook. Maybe he's considering maybe just playing a move like B3 or A5.
20 seconds. Oh no, you can't do this. Rook takes. It's pinned.
No, but he's taking E1 with check.
But Rook takes E8, and then it's pinned.
Queen takes E8. He's playing Queen E8.
Okay.
Queen E5.
Queen F8. Queen F8. Or Queen E5. Queen F8, yes.
Queen F8, okay. Queen F3? If he plays Queen F3 here.
Well, that was so confusing. I have no idea. Queen F3, yeah. Okay, what is happening?
What a game! What a game! Come on, guys.
I think we're just lost. Bishop, Queen, what? Queen 2, he's just playing Queen C8?
There's no threat, so play B3. There's no threat. No threat, play B3.
He's threatening Rook takes. B4.
I'm not worried. I'm playing my B2 move now. Oh, this is very good. This should be good for Black. This should be no problem for Black. This should be okay for Black.
There must have been something there. There was some pin. There was some.
I agree. I agree.
I don't know. Silvio needs to. Okay, Queen with check. We certainly cannot take that rook.
Play Queen G6.
Queen G6. No.
Oh, okay, or that move. I was trying to.
Very confused. This is so confusing. Is there Bishop G7 check? No, there's not. Rook takes G7. No. Surely.
All right, gosh, yeah, our board 3s and board 4s. Good job, guys. Good job. G2 with mate. Excellent.
This is just, I was just completely confused by this entire game. What was going on here? There must have been something for white.
Anyways, this should be game. I don't see anything. I don't see anything here. Unless are you seeing anything?
No, I'm not seeing anything at all. I think it's just mate. But man, that was very confusing. He had 8 seconds
okay,
left.
He saw queen c2. Very nice.
Yeah, queen c2, which is a very nice move.
Queen b2 might have been maybe slightly more accurate, considering attacking the rook. But it doesn't matter. It's mate on g2.
This is completely insane. It's just what a wild game. I was not. Surely, can we really get away with taking it at 4? I'm very confused.
I mean on f6, but yeah.
On f6, excuse me.
All right, so board 3 and board 4. Thank you very much, Shyam van der End. Thank you very much, Rajan Panjwani, for keeping us in it. Our heavy hitters on board 1 and board 2 are having an off night, which is fine. It happens to the best of us.
I think we're just going to. It's like white is just flagging, and white just flags here, and we win on time. Okay, another tie. The same old story for this entire match.
Yeah.
It's with board 1 and 2 lose, and board 3 and 4 win. Just wow. Okay, and the games have started. So we have Eric Hansen against Gusenov on board 1,
okay,
and Amon against Vital Borchowski. This looks like a very scary team. Gusenov, didn't he play against Magnus in some blitz match once, or wasn't that a thing, Elias? Or
pardon?
Didn't Gusenov play against Magnus Carlsen in a blitz match at some point? And
yes.
Yeah, he did.
And I think he beat him. He might have probably beaten him because Gadir is known to be a very good blitz player.
Well,
and I've actually heard behind the scenes, Eric, if I may add, Eric Hansen has been experiencing a lot of trouble with his internet. After every move, he's losing a couple seconds, and maybe that could explain why he's always, continuously in time trouble.
Right, and Eric Hansen is actually absent from the board. Let's switch instead to board 2. Okay, he just played e5, but board 2, Amon has played d4, and his opponent is absent from the board. So Eric Hansen just getting back now, playing a Roy Lopez, and looks like we saw an exchange on c6. I haven't actually seen this line, queen d6, and yeah, it's. Where do you want to go here, Elias?
Yeah, well, we can check out. I guess Gusenov is okay. It's an interesting game, but maybe we can just check out Amon.
Amon? Okay, so he's playing a London system. We saw d4, knight f6, bishop f4, and e6, e3, c5, and knight f3. And now we see b3, and it looks like I've played a similar line myself as black, where sometimes my idea is to play bishop to a6 in some cases, which is why I think Amon delayed the development of the bishop to d3 and instead played the move h3. Now is playing move c3. So, okay, we'll see. It's some kind of Queen's Indian type position here. Let's check out board number 3, Raja Panjwani.
And I'd like to add, I think Amon has played Borchowski over the board. They played a couple months ago, and I think Amon got the better side of him, and he actually won.
Oh, really? What tournament was that? Do you remember?
I can't quite remember. I think it might have been in Switzerland.
Switzerland, I see. Okay, so let's go to Raja Panjwani's game very quickly. Just go through the moves. White he's playing Jan Elvist, and who played a Botvinnik English with c4, knight f6, knight c3, g6, and if we just go fast forward to move 9, bishop e3, f5, f4, and both players are kind of trying to open up the f files or putting some pressure on the center, and we saw an exchange from Raja on e4, pawn takes e4, and then he took on f4, and it looks like he's going to be playing against maybe these hanging pawns, f4 and e4, and maybe also the weak king. We've moved all these pawns in front of our king for white, and we might want to play against that for black here.
And it looks double-edged. And I'm gonna add, Jan Elvis is having a phenomenal tournament or a pro chess league. I think he's performing around 2,700 during pro chess.
My goodness.
I think he's scored. Let me see, but I think he's scored 13 points out of 16 games this season, performing at 27-23.
That's quite a good performance.
He's an older fellow, he's doing very, very well.
That is a very nice performance, and it makes me a bit scared for Raja here. But okay, I have faith that he'll come through. Let's check out board number 4. It's been another modern defense today. What has been going on with these modern defenses? We saw from
Take us through. You're the expert.
Shyam played e4, g6, d4, bishop g7, knight c3, d6, bishop e3, knight f6, queen d2. So he's going for like a very what's the name of that attack in like the
Yugoslav?
Like a Yugoslav type sort of setup. Except that black hasn't played c5 and it's not a Sicilian. So we saw move 6, knight f3, bishop g4, knight g5, h6, h3, bishop d7, knight f3, king h7, e5, which is good to get in. I think generally I don't like black's play so far. I would have preferred more control.
I love white's position
over the e5 square or trying to get e5 in. Knight g8, which just seems like a ugly move to have to play. h4, and he's just coming at him. Knight c6 and castles queenside. And I am a massive fan of white's position here because it looks like something has just gone wrong for black. There's knight on g8, e5 is in, h5 for example is coming. It seems like
I'm salivating right now.
Yeah, I don't see where white gets or black gets his counterplay. Let's circle back to the Hansen game though, because it looks like there's been some nice developments, and I'm actually I don't know, I'm kind of a fan of what Hansen is doing right now. Tentatively a fan, at least. Let's go back. I think we left off the game when just as it was starting, after bishop e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e5. Sorry, e4, e5, move 1, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e5, a6, bishop takes c6, queen d takes c6, castles, queen d6, d3, knight e7, bishop e3, knight g6, headed for f4, knight bd2, bishop e7, getting the bishop out so we can castle, and queen e2, castles, a4, a5, rook fd1, b6, knight c4, queen e6, b3, c5, and he's putting all of his pawns on dark squares to make his opponent's bishop worse.
Yeah, and it seems as though Eric was not happy with the repetition of moves, and I'm very happy that it was not the case because Eric really needs to win. We need to win as a
team. So we can fast forward a little bit. We can go to after c5, there is knight f2, bishop b7, f3, rook a d8, getting the rook on the semi-open file, knight f1, bishop h4, and we saw this after knight e7, some repetition of moves. But eventually on move 21, he played bishop f4, queen f2, knight c6, knight e2, queen h6, knight takes f4, e takes f4, bishop c1, knight d4, and bishop e2, knight e6, and this is the current position. And I kind of do like Eric's position with the fact that we have this annoying looking pawn on f4, and maybe we can remaneuver our bishop somewhere. I feel our knight's pretty okay. I don't know. It seems that maybe I shouldn't be so happy because white certainly does have a lot of activity here. What are your thoughts on this position?
Yeah, I agree with everything you've said, Eric. I don't mind Eric Hansen's position at all. As far as a clear plan of what he's planning on doing, I'm not too sure. This position actually kind of reminds me of what's that topical line? The name's slipping my mind, where they play that queenless middle game. It's very topical these days in the e4, e5.
Berlin or something, or
yeah, the Berlin. The queenside pawns remind me a lot of the Berlin. The only difference is that there's a double pawn on the f file for black. But this reminds me, of a Berlin's going to be a maneuvering game. I'm not sure what black or white are going to do as a plan, but I don't think.
I was thinking about trying to play. If I was white, I was thinking about trying to play. I'm not sure. It's probably not going to work out. But maybe c3, e5 or d4. Excuse me. In the future, yeah. C3. Is that something?
Seems like a very reasonable plan as well, and I think Gadir is going for that as well. Okay, black is playing h5, h4. I think as expected, he's looking for some play somewhere. And I guess
I don't know. I mean, the more I look at this, the more I like white here because I think c3, d4. We get this very large center, and it seems that it's very difficult to stop. Yeah, c3, d4, and I'm not so sure about what's going on here. Like it's.
No, I think maybe this should be slightly better for white. He's getting d4, he's getting the center, and maybe Eric is kind of scratching his head and saying, "Oh, maybe I should have taken that repetition of moves on move 21 to 22."
Eric wants to put up some points. He's not happy. Yeah. 1 out of 6 is absolutely a horrible score. He'll be very disturbed. So he wants to play h4, h3, and or something. I mean, he needs to get some sort of counterplay. But my concern is that just d4 just comes way too quickly. It just comes way too quickly, and I don't see if I don't know that we have counterplay. So I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what to do here for black. I feel like h4, h3 is a bit too slow. But we can let Hansen maybe think it over, and let's move on to board number 2 and see Aman, who is mercifully relatively equal on the clock. So we left off on.
I'm not sure if it's Aman here. I can't believe it.
Yeah, we left off with bishop d3, move number 7, bishop d3, knight c6, knight b d2, d5, castle, c4, gaining some space, but I'm very happy to see the c4 move. Bishop c2, b5, a3, a5, knight e5, taking the central squares, castles, g4, knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, knight d7, bishop back to g3, b4, e4, b3, bishop b1.
No, I don't like b3 that much, but anyway.
No, not at all. I don't like anything that black's doing, quite honestly. Bishop takes e4, move 18, bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, knight b6, and then queen e2, queen to d5, f4, f5. And
this might be a good move by black.
Well, I think, I mean, maybe, I agree.
After bishop d6, he's threatening, I don't know, the white bishop on g3, as you pointed out earlier, might be a tall piece.
Yes, perhaps.
A tall pawn, sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I was very happy with white's position, but now I guess I realized that like knight a4 is quite disturbing. It looks like we have a bunch of weaknesses here, and I'm not sure how to deal with them. I was very unimpressed by b3, but it seemed pretty concrete that we're just going to trade off light squared bishops. I don't know. This seems not so good for us.
Yeah, it doesn't look. I might prefer black probably. Let's say if black gets a knight on d5, moves his queen, brings his knight on d5, putting extra pressure on f4. Yeah.
This does not seem very well. I'm not too happy with this position. And king h2, I don't know what that's about. I guess he's just getting out of the way, or maybe protecting the g3 bishop. Yeah, it's not a happy position, I don't think.
Me neither. But, we've been putting all our faith on board 3s and board 4s. Let's maybe check Raja's game.
Let's go to Raja and see how he's been doing. I don't remember, where did we leave off? We left off, I think, on move
I think we left off, but it was right here on move 15. After white played knight d5.
Knight d5. We played
naturally. We'll just go through the moves here. 1 second, a move, more or less. And I guess we'll stop at 19 g5. 19 g5 by black was
quite a good move. I think it's a nice maybe finesse here. We break apart. Of course, white can't take on g5 because there's bishop e5 check, and so in doing that, we kind of break apart these hanging pawns that white had. These two f4, nice f4 and e4 pawns that were kind of harassing and a bit annoying with their center control. So we get rid of those, end up taking on f4 and playing bishop to e5 and making some exchanges. And I'm not sure about you, Elias, but I kind of do like the position that we currently have on the board here, just simply for the fact that that after maybe something like queen g7, it seems like our structure is a bit better. What do you think?
I agree. And maybe instead of queen g7, I might prefer maybe a move like queen e7, just so we don't fall into rook g5. But maybe queen e7.
I'm a bit concerned about like him getting on the diagonal. Is my big concern.
Oh, that's true. And I guess Raja agrees with you as well. Me just play queen g7. Yeah, I agree. I didn't consider that.
Maybe
yes, this looks good for black. I agree.
If I could, I don't know. It feels like I want to almost go back on what I was just saying. It feels like white can get some play here, like queen f4.
Yeah. Rook g7.
This is some scary stuff. I really don't know what to evaluate this as. If I could get in as black, bishop f7, bishop g6.
I'd be very happy.
But it's not entirely possible. So queen a8 check is now possible. Now there's not rook f1. And and then maybe then we could get away with bishop f7, bishop g6. I really feel like we need to stay on the diagonal. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And he's following our idea. He's following our plan.
So I would hope to see bishop f7, bishop g6, but it's maybe we could also play
maybe rook e5 here, maybe.
Yeah, rook e5
to trade e5, and then I take on g5 and hopefully trade queens. I think if we get a bishop's endgame with a pawn on e5, this should be good for black, but I'm not sure if good means necessarily winning because all the pawns are on life.
Okay, so he's going for bishop f7. Now queen f4 is something. Queen f4 perhaps.
Queen f4, bishop g6.
Bishop g6, h4.
Bishop g6 is a blunder because rook takes g6. And then queen h6 check, queen g6. Maybe.
Hold on. Queen h6 check. Hold on. Queen h6 check. Queen. Oh yes, of course. Okay, so we can't play that.
I'm not sure. It might be enough.
So we're trading off instead. He wants to just trade rooks. I think this is a very practical decision. Just trade rooks. Get away. Let's just get away from any pressure because this rook is very active. I think I like our position a bit better if we can get the active rook. Well, I don't know.
No, I think we'll leave it at that. I think things are looking better for Raja. Is it enough to win? We'll see. They're both getting a little bit low on time, but in the meantime, maybe we'll check our wonder kid Xian.
Yeah, China. Let's see how he's doing. So we left off. I think after e5 castles, move 12, d takes e5, knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, and we just saw pretty much a good exchange of pieces here, Yeah, so we after move 17, h5, knight b5, rook fc8, knight d4, bishop d4, bishop d5, knight f3, and bishop takes f3, g takes f3, rook d8, bishop d3, e6, bishop e4, rook d2, rook d8, check, king takes d2, rook d8, check, king e2, b6, a4, knight e7, c3, bishop h6, a5, knight d5, bishop takes d5, rook takes d5. And from this position, what would you evaluate this as?
Well, I'm looking at it. I think if white plays a takes b6, and then black takes back with either pawn, then maybe play rook a1. And I think it's roughly equal. I'm just worried about the h pawn on h4 being on a dark square. It's being isolated. I think if rooks are traded, I think black should be better for sure because all of white pawns are on dark squares. But with rooks on, should be equal-ish enough. But I'm just wondering what happens after rook a1. Rook a1, rook a4, rook c4. Should be about equal. Maybe black's slightly better because of his pawns, but white is active enough. We'll see what Xian can do. Low in time each.
Right, I see. Okay, so how is Hansen doing against it looks like a very complicated position.
Yeah, all four boards seem to be either results are possible, I think.
Yeah, so we left it off, I think, on move number. So Eric did something that I quite liked. C3, H4.
Move 29, right?
Move 29, yeah. C3, H4, H3, Bishop A6, which I think is a good decision. We want to trade off the bishop that isn't doing anything on B7 for a bishop on C4, and after D4 we took on C4, took the knight on C4, B takes C4, rook F8, E5, knight F8, rerouting the knight to maybe a better square, rook 2, E4, knight G6, rook
but I'd like to say I'm not sure if it's necessarily a better square, just because on G6 it's just kind of protecting pawns, but I think it's a better square in terms of
probably forced to do that, right?
Of course, I agree.
Yeah. But okay, I mean, we're playing like a knight in a closed position. What's not to like?
That's true. Yep.
I mean, maybe we could go after A4 and target A4. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea because I'm not sure. But if we lose that, then we might lose F4, and then we might lose H4. It's not clear. I like white's position. I think white is quite.
Yeah, white is doing good because we have this weakness on G4 or sorry F4 that we need to babysit. And in fact, like, is there not just like Queen D2? No, not necessarily.
But I like your idea. Bishop D2, Queen D1, Queen C1. If we really want to do something like that, but I think Eric is getting lower on time, and on the webcam he's kind of groaning, sighing, yawning. Yikes.
And this is not. He's definitely not in a happy mood here. So he played queen d7, going after that pawn. But once the f4 pawn falls, I guess we could expect the h4 pawn to fall as well. Yeah. So this is definitely not a good position for him at all.
Yeah, and this is a must-win. This is a must-win if we want to score a win. If we want to be the top 6 teams in this Super Saturday.
Right.
All right. Maybe let's check KNVB. Amon Hamilton. He's in usual
time
ground,
pressure, yeah.
usual waters with the time pressure.
Not as bad as before, but so it looks like we made some exchanges. It looks like things maybe became a little more rational. But okay, so e4, so d5. I think that's a good move, attacking the queen there. But it feels like we're just losing f4. I'm not sure. What do you think, Elias?
So white just played d5.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like f4 might be a goner, but if I take on f6 with my rook, there's one less attacker of f4, but it doesn't look that good for
So if the queen were to play something like queen d7, I would consider perhaps we could go after the c4 pawn at some maybe.
Absolutely.
Not sure. It's complicated looking at least. So I would say like queen d7, rook takes on f6, bishop.
Maybe queen d7, queen g4.
Queen g4. What's the threat?
Rook takes f6 is a threat.
Rook takes f6. Yeah. Okay. Then we take on f8. Yes.
Yeah.
So okay. So he plays instead. So the threat now is to take on e6. So he just takes on f6, and I guess we're gonna give the check. And
might be okay here. Might be okay.
Queen e4 is probably next, I would imagine.
Maybe just rook e2. Okay, queen e4, reasonable.
You want to protect the d pawn. So maybe rook e2. If there's rook to d6, we could play rook to d2.
Yeah. Okay. King g2 played. I think it's okay. We'll continue.
Okay. So let's move on. Well, he has 6 seconds left, and he needs to make a move. Like there's no actual threat here. So rook f2, rook f3 rather has been played. And it's hard to
should be a draw. I think objectively.
I think he's much better, right? F5.
F5. Yeah.
F5. We're playing.
Yeah, he might be much better with the pass pawn, right?
Right. And we can play queen e6
he's up a
in the future, or if we just got to hang on to those pawns. But this is a good move, I think. The threat is to play like takes
ridiculous time management. Yeah,
it's very very poor. Okay, why did? Gosh,
he wanted queen e8 check. Oh, he almost flagged. He was at 0.5. Come on.
I'm so stressed out watching. Okay, but f6 is coming. F6 is coming.
Oh my. We need to stay with this game, right?
But okay, queen e5 with queen e2 threats is definitely happening.
So queen e5, king h2.
Queen e5, king. Sorry, where? King h2. Queen e2, and then we play takes, and then okay, king h2, f6.
That's a very good move.
No, but f6 takes on queen.
Take on e2, rook takes e2, king f3, and then I take on g7.
He doesn't even want it. He wants instead to play just king takes. I think this is better. I was scared of him taking on b2 in some cases, and this looks like really good. I think he's just winning.
Yeah, really good. Come on, queen f3. Oh, he didn't play queen f3.
No, because wouldn't that just be perpetual? We're just stepping out. There's too many threats to deal with. You have the threat on the g pawn. We're pushing on d6. This looks quite good, I think, for Amon. If he can just manage his time correctly, then I think I'm very happy with this position here. Okay, rook f7.
Takes g7.
Takes g7. Takes.
But king takes g7, queen g2 check. This is the position I was looking at. Is it a draw?
I don't know. Can we?
I don't think it's a draw. I think it's winning for Amon.
I think so as well. And if that's not possible, then what do we do here? Do we just go for perpetual? Oh no. Queen
g2. Queen g2. Queen g2.
Yes. Okay, takes. What do we have? What do we play? Check. Okay, we need to get it some sort of...
D6. Ooh.
He takes on B2. This is so complicated.
B2 and I play D7, and there's no checks.
This is so complicated, and they're playing it with like 6 seconds left.
Flag. Okay,
check.
Queen G4 check. Queen G4 check.
Queen G4 check. Yes. It's just the win. Just the win.
Yes, there you have King takes.
Goes to King H8. We're just gonna run the H pawn.
And there we have it. Amon playing on seconds.
Okay, so who do we have left here?
So should we maybe jump to Eric?
Yep. Looking at Eric Hansen's game, it looks like we've recovered a bit. We playing rook to c3, rook to c3.
Come on! I'm getting excited here. You know,
don't get too excited. This is very complicated, Elias. Come on.
Rook takes c7.
Okay, no, he wants to hang on to that counterplay.
I would have taken c7. It's just too dangerous.
Next. Oh no, okay, he needs to play rook to c6 or rook there.
Rook to c2. Mm-hmm. Maybe some stuff on g2. Okay.
There's the knight. Okay. Oh, there's
jack. Queen d8 check.
Queen f8.
Queen f8. You have to play queen f8 there. Oh my! He just blundered. He just blundered terribly.
Queen h8 it's just checkmate. It's just checkmate.
Unbelievable.
Nah, it's all over. It's all completely over. But he had Queen f8 in that critical position. If we go back,
he had Queen f8 on move
very quickly to move number 62. Queen d8 check. Queen f8 would have held on. Okay, maybe it's not winning. Maybe he has rook takes on d8, but it would have at least held on.
Yeah, it would have at least. Anyways, Hudinovic just drew. Let's jump to Raja's game. He's playing on seconds as well. Oh, complicated game here.
Wow, very complicated game. It looks like we're not doing so well here because it seems like he's just queening. Queen
d5. And then queen. Ah.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yeah, in fact, if we give any checks now, there's just check and takes and...
Yeah. Take and then
it's completely over. It's completely over. So Amon won, Shyam draws, and Raja is just lost here. Whew, this is wow, definitely not what we needed going into this. In fact, are we even going to draw? If we end up getting a win after everything that happened today, it'll be a miracle. That's all I'm going to say here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start off with a Hansen game. Hansen starts off with e4 against Roland Prestigieux. And I wonder if we'll see another modern today. That's been the theme of the game.
I think Roland sometimes does play the modern.
Okay, we're seeing a Scandi. Seeing a Scandi here, Scandinavian. All the John Bartholomew fans are going to be very happy. And we'll see how Eric treats it. Okay, so the Queen A5 Scandinavian with Bishop C4. And how is Amon doing? Amon has not moved. He's giving time odds, it looks like, or at least the opponent was giving time odds. Okay, so we saw knight f3, d5. So do you have any knowledge over the excuse me, the Scandinavian alliance?
Are we jumping to Eric's game, or are we staying with Amon's game, or
what do you want to do? Let's go to Amon's game. Actually, it's
okay.
He's playing playing against the King's Indian, and actually this looks like one of Amon's games from London, I think, or as far as I remember, Bishop C5, yeah, and Queen E7 is going to be happening next. So we saw knight F3, D5 at the start of the game, and G3, C6, Bishop G2, just a Slav sort of attack, or Slav sort of defense.
And Amon actually scored a second GM, Norb, in this exact line against Eric Bloomquist at the Reykjavik Open.
Oh, really? That was this game. Okay, I remember this game.
He needed to draw the game, and he played this opening.
I see. Yeah. So he's, I think he's very comfortable in this line. Do you want to go on and check out board 3?
Board 3, absolutely, because all 4 boards are really important. And I'll repeat, we need to win all 4 games to have a chance for a win.
Black here, Raja is white, and Black played a Dutch defense, d4, e6, c4, f5, and we saw, if we can just skip ahead, we saw to move number 9. c5. I'm not sure. What do you think about this move c5? Is this thematic in these Dutch defense openings, or what's going on here?
It isn't so thematic. It usually isn't that normal to close the position right away with c5. But I guess Raja is going for a fast expansion with d4, a4, b5, and trying to break through. If we continue with the game, bishop c7, b4, bishop e8, thematic move, trying to bring the bishop to h5 to a better diagonal, and then we'll continue with bishop b2, knight bd7, a4, knight e4, b5. And that's exactly what usually happens in these positions. White tries to push his queenside pawns. White tries to create some weaknesses on the queenside to target. And black sometimes tries to play aggressively with g5, king h8, rook g8, h5. And that's exactly what's going on. That's pretty good for a must-win game. There'll be chances on both sides of the board.
So it's just a bit concerning to me that it feels like black is very easily getting all of his pieces active by way of bishop h5, knight f6, or knight df6, and our pieces rather are not going to be so active. The bishop on b2 feels like a non-participant. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? How will white get counterplay? Personally, I play very poorly against the Dutch defense. I'm scared of just like g5, or f4 or something like that. What do you think?
No, I'm scared as well. I think this is a very reasonable position for Lars, who's playing black here. I don't think he has any problems. He should be quite happy with the developments after the opening. Oh, okay. It's interesting. Lars took back with the bishop on c6.
Maybe he doesn't want to give any like weird b-file pressure or something. I'm not sure.
But now his bishop is stuck on c6. I was expecting maybe his bishop, to take part. And I think 95 now is a good move. Yeah. Okay. Maybe, and actually a key idea here for white often is to play f3, e4. Break it up in the center. That g2 bishop's going to become a monster. And what's the best way to combat an attack on the flank by black is to break through in the center.
I really like this move, knight d3. Knight d3 I think is a great move because we don't allow him to take. We protect any f4 stuff if any f4 stuff ever comes. And exactly what you said, Elias. He's going for f3 and e4, and we'll see maybe a. I think. Do we want to take back with the knight or the? I would say the knight, right?
Because I'd say the knight as well. Take with the knight, and maybe now we don't play e4, or maybe you do, depending where it is. But you need to do something about that b2 bishop. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Now, is there bishop a3? Bishop a3 seems like an interesting idea.
I like it.
Maybe I don't know. Do you think we can even get in e4?
Maybe, or bishop a3. I like your move, bishop a3, and he seems as though he played it. Bring a rook to one of the open files and play this position naturally. I like
maybe like rook b1. Rook b1 threatens rook b7.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, in fact, and the bishop on e8 is going to end up being a liability because now the rooks aren't connected, and black can very quickly, or white can very quickly take control over the the files here because his rooks are a lot more active. All right,
but rook b1, bishop takes a4 was maybe an idea.
Okay. So maybe
I think that's why he's playing rook queen e3 to prepare rook b1. So bishop takes a4 is not a threat anymore.
Right.
Or he wants to target e6. Yeah, this is a good position.
This is
e6 is I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
Yeah, this is. I feel like this is very nice. So maybe rook to b1.
Maybe rook b1. Would you want to move on to Hudinovic just to see how he's doing?
Move on to Hudinovic and see how he's playing right now. So we played. It's in English. I think. I don't want to spend too much time going over this game because there's other games to get to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just go to the final position and kind of give our evaluation. It looked like it looks like some kind of English where white has a lot of queenside space, but I'd like to get in either d5 or b5 here as black, and I don't think we can, but perhaps we can get the queen in somehow. Queen e4 or something for d5, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would maybe play it calmly here. I might play a move like b6, maybe just to prevent kind of a5 and restricting and then, b6 might be weak, or maybe I don't need to play b6. I can play whenever I want. Maybe I play just h6.
My idea
this is going to be a hedgehog.
My idea behind the move e4 is to play the move d5 and to basically pin the c4 pawn. But maybe that's a bit too much. Because the rook is hanging.
Okay, I understand.
But the rook is hanging, so never mind. Or the bishop is hanging, so can be taken. So I don't know.
But typically in these hedgehog positions, you don't need to plan a killer slow. You just play it slowly, h6 or g6 or bishop f8.
Sure.
You move your pieces around. You have a little bit of fun. You tickle your opponent, just like a hedgehog. It's a spiky creature. It doesn't move very fast, and you just enjoy your position.
I see. All right, so let's check out. Let's circle back to Hansen and see how his game is developing. We left it off after this move. 5 bishop g4. We saw knight e2, knight b to d7, h3, bishop f5, castles, e6, knight to d4, attacking that bishop on f5, bishop to g6, knight to b3, attacking the queen, and we saw queen h5, move number 10, queen takes h5, bishop takes h5, knight to b5, attacking c7, and king to d8. Now a4. So I'm quite a fan of what's going on here. What do you think about this position, Elias?
Yeah, I think this is good. Black just played knight b6, so it seems as though
I did not consider that move.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be a problem. I think maybe a move like knight a5 might be good, or maybe you play a5 yourself. It's kind of disappointing that you'll be losing the 2 bishops. That's the
what about instead of rook to e1, what Hansen just played? Could we have played bishop f4? Is that something to hit c7, or is he just playing c6 there?
I think bishop f4 is just c6.
That's unfortunate.
But yeah, rook e1. I think bishop f4 is a good move as well. It's just I would have preferred bishop f4, I think, instead of rook e1. But rook e1 is completely logical as well. Just putting a rook on an open file.
Yeah, I don't know about this position anymore. I'm a bit nervous of maybe takes on c4 and bishop g6 in the future. We're going to have to either babysit c2 or move c3, and
just probably c3. But we need to consider that. Look at Black's rooks on 8 and h8, very inactive.
I mean, his bishop does not have a good square to go to. He needs to play like a6 or something, a6 or c6. And where's our knight headed? Are we headed to c3 or maybe d4 after a6 here?
Yeah, probably c3. I imagine. On d4, I don't see a future square. I think just c3, and I think I like Eric's position. He's just up, not up, and he played d4. I'm not sure where that knight is going, but maybe he's playing g4, knight f3, knight e5. Maybe that's his idea.
g4, knight f3, knight e5. Perhaps, yeah, that makes some good sense here. I don't know about this though. I agree. It seems a bit suspicious.
Yeah. But no, but he has active pieces. There should be nothing to worry about. Yeah, he's okay. It's an end game. We'll see. The better player should win.
All right, let's go back and check on board number 2, Amon Hambleton. I think we last saw it on move number 8, bishop c5, and after knight c3, d4, knight e2, h5, h4, bishop d6, c3, c5, bishop g2, queen b6, bishop d2. Rook c8, rook b1, queen a6. It turned into like some weird version of some I don't know, like a reverse Benoni, reverse King's Indian or something. I don't even know how to describe this position.
Yeah, an inclusion of h5, h4 is particular for sure.
It's a bit strange because it's like there's like a snake Benoni or something where they end up with. But okay, how does Black get the counterplay here, Elias? What do you think? Are we playing like b5?
I think we're playing b5. For sure, or White's gonna go for f4 for sure at some point. So I think we're gonna try to go a6 b5. White's probably gonna reply with b3. It's gonna be a maneuvering game, I think, for the next couple while. We'll see how White breaks
Definitely
through.
A maneuvering
I like how Amon's
game.
Up on time.
Yeah, Pardon? At least he's up on time, and that's enough for me. But we can go check on Raja at this point. He's actually up in exchange.
Really?
Yeah, he's up in exchange. I'm not sure how good of an exchange it is because it's an exchange for a pawn, and it looks like Black has a very solid way of playing. But I mean, an exchange is an exchange. So what do you think about the current position after 41 g4, which I think is a good move, by the way?
Oh, I think it's a great move. He's going to, if Black takes, well, that gives him an extra file to play around with, and. No, he should be winning here. It's just a matter of technique,
right?
As the old Russian schoolboy in me would say.
Right. So how do we make progress though? Are we playing like rook c2, rook c2 to trade off
rook
rooks?
c2, rook c7.
Okay. He's instead bringing. I'm concerned a little bit about the move e5.
Well, okay, e5. But the thing is, every time black kind of opens up a file, white should be happy because it's one extra file for his rooks.
Well, on e5 is kind of dumb because I could just take on f5. I don't know what I'm doing there.
Yeah.
So okay, this is looks pretty. Maybe he's playing f4 now, f4 check. But I'm not even sure if I would be scared of that here on the Raja Panchwani game. Let's we can go back and check out
Rook f2, yeah.
Yeah, Rook f2 and this seems pretty good for us.
Yeah.
Do you want to go check out board number 4, Hudinovic, and see how that game is developed?
Yeah.
We left it off.
I think we can just look at the live position as is.
Okay, sure. Well, Shyam got in with Queen f3 and was trying to take advantage of some weaknesses, but I think we strayed a little too far because now the b6 pawn is on pre, and I'm not sure how we deal with it. Our queen feels a little bit offsides.
It does. It very much does. We don't want to play a move like, it's not clear. What do we do here? Do we play b5?
b5. I'm trying to look at a wacky line with like rook to b7 or rook to b8, and if he ends up playing bishop takes on d6, I'll play bishop takes d6, rook takes d6, and then queen takes on d1, and try to play that position. But okay, instead of that, he just goes for h4. Yeah, I was going to give up a pawn to get 2 rooks against the queen, but probably this is even better. Who cares about b6? In fact, white just agrees and he says, okay, I'm just going to try to trade off.
Okay.
I don't know, because it looks like we have to take that, but it's not a good thing to be taking.
No,
because he's just playing
if
e5.
He takes, I don't see his opponent ever losing, and Xian's getting low on time. This is a must win.
Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. But we have to take. There's nothing else.
Yeah, we have to take. I agree.
So,
and then what do we do?
E5 or something is coming. I mean, we're just pinned on this d file, and it's just a very nasty looking position.
Maybe I play d5 here. I play d5. I give up a pawn, but white's pawns are fragmented.
So d5, and if we just see a massive amount of exchanges, and maybe we're getting in time with the king.
Mm-hmm,
the idea,
exactly.
And the fact that he has these doubled f pawns should help us out to some extent. Okay, he instead plays the move g6.
I like that because he's trying to play for a win. At least try to keep it a little bit complicated.
Okay.
And actually, he has a very cute idea here. Perhaps bishop h6 amounts to something.
Bishop h6.
Probably not.
Is there like king f3 or something like that, or?
Yeah, king f3. Yeah.
I'm not sure. It seems like we're on the worst side of whatever this is right now.
Yeah.
In fact,
on the worst side.
I'd be very happy here as white. Let's go and check out the Hansen game again and see how that's developed. In fact, we didn't see black taking on c4, and Hansen managed to preserve his bishop.
That's great news for him.
So we left it off. I think we can go through the moves because there's only like 5 of them.
Absolutely.
Rook e1, a6, knight to.
What move number? Sorry, was that?
Sorry, rook e1, move 14, a6, knight 5 to d4, bishop d6, knight a5, king c8, bishop to d2, rook to d8, bishop to b3, bishop to c5, knight e2, and this very fancy move knight e4, bishop e3. And this is the current position after bishop e3. And I kind of do still like what Eric has going on here, because his rooks are going to be way more active. Look at that rook on a8. It's just completely doing nothing. If we see an exchange of bishops here on e3, then we'll be very happy in that we have a pawn covering d4, but that doesn't happen. In fact, he plays a better move, bishop to b4, and we have to play c3. So we just saw bishop to b4 forking the rook and the knight. We took on e4, bishop takes a5 and c3 to block off that bishop. Wow, this feels like that bishop could be getting trapped very shortly. Yeah,
I think black is going to play knight d7 and then play bishop b6. But white may play knight f4 now and might get the 2 bishops after bishop g6, knight takes g6 kind of move. Knight
f4 is quite a nice move, actually. I do like that quite a bit. Knight f4, and then we're going to put a rook in the d file and say that, hey, you're the fact that your rook on a8 is just stuck there is going to be decisive in this game. So I think Eric has a very nice position after knight f4. So I'm pretty happy. I expect knight takes on g6. That's exactly what happens. And now, even better, bishop to g5. A finesse. If black ends up playing f6, well, then the e6 pawn is weak. And if he ends up moving the rook, then my move rook to d1 is even better. So
very nice position for white.
Yeah,
the bishop
really strong position. I agree. Now the knight is
rook and,
almost pinned. Well, not really. Okay, you can move the knight because the rook covers, but this should be just very good. Look, I mean, it feels like every piece is almost offsides here for black. Like the knight is not doing anything useful. The bishop is not doing anything useful. Like it seems like quite a good position for us.
Yeah. Shall we check if how Aman is doing on board 2?
He's up on time, but we're under 3 minutes, so I think we're just going to stick with the current position and see how things are going. Yeah. He just played a6, maybe intending to play b5 in order to maybe try to break apart these pawns that he has. And he's played rook e8. I'm kind of interested in playing. I don't know how we get active here or how we activate all of our pieces. Our knight on h8 is certainly not, or h7 rather, is not a great piece. So what do you think we can do here as black rather?
Well, I don't think I guess we need to play b5 or rook f8. He's playing rook f8 guarding f7.
F7. He's guarding f7.
I play b5 here maybe. I want to activate my h7 knight. That's why maybe I wanted to keep my rook where it was and play knight f8. And
I don't know what is going on. He needs to play king h8.
I'm not sure if it's doing anything necessarily that move.
Something. What are we playing here?
Let me just play king g8. Just get out of that nonsense. Get out of that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like this is like the sort of position that I would have no idea how to handle as either color, but white like has something. It feels like white has something.
But I think Aman is familiar with these types of positions because you get these positions from a French defense quite a bit. So I think he knows what to do, and he has control over e5, which is good. I think that's a good move. He might bring his other knight to f6.
F6 to g4. Now that he's given up control over g4, I just want to get one of my knights active, and like maybe g4 is horrible, very horrible.
Oh, I think this is good. He's going to play knight h to f6, maybe knight f6 to d7, and then bring the knight g8 to f6. And he might have finally figured out a way to coordinate his pieces a tiny bit.
Okay, so maybe Aman seems to be doing okay here at least. I mean, there's something. So we can expect knight h to f7, knight h7 to f6, and
exactly. He's gonna play that knight to d7 and then the g8 to f6. I think.
Wait, why are we going to
make it work?
D7? Because you're just on queen h6. You're just gonna play king g8. And you're just
exactly.
Okay, and then we can activate all of our pieces. I see.
It's we'll see if we can make that work because queen h6 check and bishop g5 might have some pin effects, but I think this game is reasonable.
And Raja has just won. We left off this game.
Congratulations, Master! Yes. Congratulations, Raja.
We left off this game where he was up an exchange, but we'll just move on and we'll see how board 3 is, or our final board is doing, and because he's pretty low on time, so we're just going to leave it how it is, but maybe a tentative draw here? I don't know. It certainly looks like he's worse. But he can... I think he's holding on to everything here. He's down a pawn. No, he's up... We're equal material. But, okay, this is probably just a draw here for black.
It looks like a draw. I don't think... But
there's no way to make progress. Absolutely not.
Make progress.
We can just kind of move our bishop around now and waste the tempo.
We really need that win. I don't think a draw is enough, but unfortunately, a draw is better than a loss.
That's true. Okay, so, where do you want to go? I think we haven't seen Hansen for a while. Again, relatively few moves. They're under a minute. Hansen has a minute to less than 10 seconds. A draw was just offered.
This is good. Eric might finally win a game, guys. He's gonna win. He's gonna win his first game and his last game.
Oh no, this is. Oh no. Okay, so we have an interesting position. He has the 2 bishops, and I'm struggling to see how to make progress here as white. Maybe bishop c4.
I'd just like to add that it's official. Hudinovic did draw that game.
Okay.
So, anyways, go ahead.
So, bishop c4 for bishop a6. What do you think about that? there. In fact, how do you deal with this? You have to play like knight c3 or knight c7 rather, and I could follow. I take on f7 there. He's okay, so he has to play this move, but now we have bishop d5.
Ooh, this is nasty. 2 bishops.
Yes, and
very, very good.
So Eric is going to move the knight to a1 and reroute, and
rook a1.
Rook a1 to attack the pawn. We even could actually c4 is a much better move because he's trying to open now rook a1 or bishop b6 is quite a good move.
Both are very good moves.
And maybe even just c5 here. What about just c5? C5.
Very good move as well.
I might even play like c5, c6. I could. Okay, so he's starting off with rook to a5, but c5 here is quite good. Just walk the king in. Yeah, absolutely.
King c4, rook
king
b1.
b5.
Maybe?
Yeah, king b5 in the future. Okay. Oh, even better. So
take.
He's probably going to take, I think. Or no, he's just playing.
Okay, f4 is energetic. Something Eric likes to be.
Mm-hmm. So I feel, can we just get away with taking here and going to this opposite colored bishop, but with rooks on the board endgame? Like, what do you think here? With 22 seconds left, we have to make this decision. Okay, and he goes for it.
Probably.
I think this should just be winning. Just
king b5 here.
King b5 or something. King b5, and surely this is just good for us.
So you take, and then you play e5 now.
E5, yes, e5, exactly. Well, perfect. Elias, you're so good at chess. Ooh. Well, okay, but we have 2 passed pawns, yes?
Rook e4, yeah.
Oh, and Aman has lost his game.
Oh, no.
Which is quite poor. So we need Eric to come through with a win here. We need Eric to come through with a win, and we just lost a piece in time pressure, and it was very rough. Okay, but Eric was just focused on Eric's game.
Let's focus on Eric's game. Let's all send him good vibes. This is the last game of Super Saturday.
Are we going to play like King b5 here? King b5 to take a5 and then like if there's rook to. Okay, so he's playing that move, but could I just you're.
Wait. Okay, and he's going to win a5 and b4.
Yeah, he's forced to babysit f8, and then we take on d4 and everything else, and it's all over. 3 pawns is too much. Okay, and Eric just wins by resignation, so we finally we get another win here. So it looks like we're solidly in the draw category here. We're solidly in the draw category. We scored 16 points and we needed 17.5 for a win or 18 for a win, and unfortunately didn't get there. But we did get a draw for this Pro Chess League match. So